Hey guys, welcome back in. 2 o'clock as we head through the remaining 2 hours of the afternoon. We are looking at a bit of a choppy afternoon setting up here. We are back in positive territory, only just for the NASDAQ, but hey, we'll take it at this point after a big move down. Heading into the lunch hour, S&P 500 0.13 in the red as well, about 0.5% right now for the Dow. Interesting, it is the Dow 30 leading as far as decliners are concerned. NASDAQ, as I mentioned, just hanging on there to positive territory at the moment. Here in Toronto, TSX 0.35, downside crude oil. Big move on that inventory data we got at 11 o'clock, 1.9 to the upside down. Bitcoin and Ethereum back to the upside as well. I wanted to mention to kick off, starting at 2 o'clock, we're supposed to get daily. So Fed's daily coming through with some comments right now. So watch the market overall. That's the way the S&P 500 is setting up. Currently, we had one of those days where it was all about earnings. So a ton of big movers, individual big movers, including Domino's here, 12.7 to the downside off. It was mostly the forecast. The earnings, not bad, but forecast to the downside, pointing to softer economic conditions. The old recession fear talk for DPZ. So a big move down. eBay and Dollar General here, DG 4.5, 5.5 for eBay off earnings as well. DLTR also dragged down with that. Some of the hotels under a little bit of pressure here, along with some of the cruise lines. We're going to get more from the travel group specifically. NCLH comes through next week. CCL downside today, though, 2% leading as far as cruise operators are concerned. More earnings, obviously, in this group. The big one, Nvidia, we'll discuss that and more coming up. As far as the chips are concerned, though, still is Nvidia leading the way. AMD, nice day, 3% to the upside. KLAC here, MPWR, QRVO. ON, notably weak, 2% downside with the rest of that group, though, having a really, really good day. Moderna, downside big time, 8%. It was the forecast for COVID vaccine sales that hurt Moderna today. There was that positive note with Merck on a combined cancer mRNA vaccine that actually produced a better than expected result. There's the energy group, nicely green right now, the entire thing led by CTRA. They reported as well, but nice move up in oil as we saw to kick things off there. APA, DVN, FANG, Halliburton, EOG to name a few, leading anywhere from 1.5 through to about 3% to the upside. Dish, 5% to the upside off a good report as well. Netflix downside off that price cut. They did come out and confirm that, as we saw as the morning kind of ticked along there for some countries outside of North America. 30, in fact, getting cheaper rates as far as their Netflix accounts are concerned. Hope your afternoon is going well. Welcome back in as we get going here. We'll jump back into a few things we were discussing, just keeping my eye on. Comments from daily, or potential anyways, comments from Fed's daily coming through, supposed to be right now. We'll kick things off, as I mentioned, with a look back at what was available to you for opportunity this morning. Sean's going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Hey traders, what's up? It is your trade of the day, and today it's a pretty simple one for me. It's going to be this way. It's going to be Nvidia right here at $200. Huge move today, up to $240, and it continues to go. We had this all over our sticky note, but the important thing that I want to talk about quickly is right here, this 230 level. You see we've bounced off of there a couple times over the last little while. $230 right there has been a key level. So that was something that we wanted to buy. So let's now move over. I don't want to fall over here and figure out. There's 230. That's better if I go on this side. Here's 230 right now, right there. That just came into play. So if you're looking down here, that's the 230 mark. We have this line drawn right there to show you that. But we had to be very, very patient. It started early in the morning. I mean, look at all this chop up and down, up and down. It was very, very hard to figure it out. We had a huge move right here in the pre-market to the upside. But look where we consolidated. We consolidated around $230 anyways at the open and the pre-market. Then we slide it over, and that's where we got long. We were very, very patient with this move. We let it come to fruition and let it happen. Sometimes when we write these things down, we don't know the exact prices. I had 228 written down, I had 229 written down, but eventually 230, we take it from that daily, which is right here. We said, hey, maybe 230 is gonna be support, happens to be where that bounced. It's gonna look like, we didn't take that much, but that first take is $1, then that's $1.50, then that's $2. Then we let it ride up, but we only had 25% left. on earnings, we should have held a little bit more. That's the one lesson that I'm learning more and more, is that when you're right on an earnings call, you do have the ability for explosive moves right there. And that's where we wind up getting out at 237 for a $7 winner. So the important thing to understand here is we're taking a little bit out, watch out for the risk. Remember, we go long here at 230.25. We are going to give it probably about 50 cents worth of room, let it break 230, see if it really wants to go, see if it exhausts down, and then make the move back up. So that's why we take first $1, then $1.50, then $2, and we're cruising, man. It's pretty early in the day, so we're really happy with this trade. Let it blast all the way to the upside. The only place we could have maybe done a little more damage is right in here. Once we took this level out, 233, 234, we could have blasted it higher to the upside because that was already the day's high. So a little bit of a move up. You can see right now, we got out, well, here it is right here. We got out at 237, so we're right here right now, despite it being 2 p.m. So we did a good job, I feel like, taking the out right here on Nvidia as it continues to go. So I'm happy with this trade. It was a big winner off the open. Watch out for earnings plays, and don't be afraid to go back a little bit and look at something like the daily right here, where you can get some support and resistance. It's your trade of the day.
Yeah, great look. Bottom ticking even on Nvidia. Back to the upside we go. We'll get back into this. I want to talk about the rest of the chip group as well. More to come from them also next week on the earnings front. If you haven't done so, guys, Nvidia top of that this morning. The watch list we send out every single day before we come on at 8:30. Very, very simple. All you need is an email address, and you get it for free, just like that. We'll talk about Lucid here as well, because that was the other major earnings name to kick things off this morning. I'm just hearing in my ear as well, daily now speaking, guys. So heads up on the overall market. Fed's daily now making some comments. So these are all of the different models, different EV models from the different manufacturers, obviously comparing the prices. We talked about this yesterday with that, I think it was the Model Y, Sean, you were mentioning, that is now priced a few $1,000s less than the average vehicle sold in the US. Here's the Lucid Air over here. So that tells the story. Anyways, there was inventory issues. There was some reservation issues being canceled and fulfillment. But I think that chart tells the story for Lucid today.
A little pricey, but it's moving up with everything else right now.
Yeah, what the heck?
Moving on up. So I'm giving it back in Lucid. Like this morning, I was short Tesla and short Lucid. Now I'm long Tesla and short Lucid. Should imagine if it was Lucid the other way. But Tesla, by the way, just Tesla here. I put a trailing stop in because it's at the afternoon or late morning resistance level, 201.30. It just broke out. It was kind of like that 200 VWAP bounce play. Going to look for a retracement and try to trail out of it. But Lucid, well, sometimes these things recover. I got to zoom way out here because you had a big gap down. It was short multiple times in the morning. The last one was off the 850 level and then just started in probably too early. Started small, added big at 850, got stopped out, and now doing the over-under. If it breaks out, and this morning range right here was about 860 to 850 before it breaks down. So if it cannot pull back here off that 60 level, then I don't know if it's going to. So strength over in the market in general, Lucid's at kind of a tipping point, down 15%. So you had to be on the offer on the way up because it is short sell restricted. But at this point, if Tesla keeps on going, I'm still hoping Lucid comes to the downside here because I am short one and long the other.
Yeah, I was just going through my tweets here, and I can't find that example, but it was the Model 3 there. And oh man, I wish I could find it. If you're the person yesterday, and I apologize, I had so many retweets and so many different, as my eyes are going right now, I'm just scrolling through all of my messages here, and I can't find it. But yeah, it was an example that basically with all of I'm just going to pass on it. I'll try to find it again if you still have that. What they had done, Brendan, was they built it out in California. So wherever they were living there, with the federal tax credit of about $7,000, I think it was, and then another $4,000 or $5,000 in California, it brought the average price of the car down into the 30s, I believe, on that Tesla, which was lower than the average. So for me, I think it's a pretty incredible thing. Like if you ask my kids, look, the one thing Elon Musk has done is brand loyalty, believe it or not, and we don't even own a Tesla. Like you ask my kids, first of all, I'm watching Nvidia here off the trade of the day, but you ask my kids what car they want when they grow up, and both of them, it's a Tesla. That's exactly what they want. So I feel like there's a lot of first mover advantages here. Oh yeah, that's right. We have the split there. But, you know, big move to the upside right now. I think Tesla's done a great job of holding this 190 despite sort of the turbulence of the market the last couple days. I like Tesla moving forward, and I think you could just continue to buy the name as long as you have your outs, right? Like, if you're going to buy it now, why not use that 190 area as your out so that you don't have to suffer if it falls back into 140, 130. Like, day trading can be complicated. Hopefully we're here to help you guys with that. But investing should be a little more simple. There's the 50 period of 180. So if you break that, you can get out. But let's go over to Lucid right now quickly. We shorted, oh, what? Oh, okay, I was waiting for a big order, but it was at 65, not at 60. Okay, good thing. That's too bad because we would have taken a nice short there. But Lucid today, yeah. Pretty interesting on earnings. It's starting to get bumped up a little bit. You have to kind of respect that $8 mark. There's the short that we had, and it wasn't early. It was pretty late. It was about 9:55 there when we finally broke lower. And remember, it was SSR, so we sat on the offer, was able to get filled. Let's go Meta. 50 cents of the money on Meta right now. 50 cents of the money on Google right now. And then we just got all the way out, and then we started to re-short again. So my best out was right there once we got out of everything at 820. So that, actually my best out was 16, but there's a 20. And then we started again at VWAP. We're starting it again right here at 50 cents and right there up to 60. I was waiting for 65s, like just to get into here, because ultimately 85, I thought, you know, it's sort of an area to be worried with right there. But that's Lucid. I like the trade. I'm going to be short. I just got filled on something. Oh, yeah. It's Google. Are we going to be talking about Google anytime soon? Look what we've been doing while you guys were gone. We have one out right there. It did break 90s at one point. I got out. Then we let it fall back down, and we got right back in. But look at this damage we've been doing on Google. Buying 90s, out in the 30s, out on the way down. We got dropped right there, let it fall, brought more in, and then boom to the upside. All this love for Google, man, and we still got a piece on board. So let's let this net continue to work. But Lucid, I like it. I'm still going to be short until we break 70.
All right, let's go on to Alibaba. Interesting look to the downside. Obviously, it ends up being quite the fade here through that 9,900 area that we were discussing this morning after testing right above 100 before just the rug got pulled essentially out of the gate so far. On quarterly revenue beat, it was actually a decent report across the board. There were some question marks around some competition and also the forecast to come through for Alibaba. But wow, what a move back to even below where we were yesterday.
Yeah, look, Baba was a bit of a dog today, and it wasn't the one I wanted for the short side, so I did have Pinduoduo. I guess I can go over that, but it didn't really matter what you had. The 100 level, which I think in the afternoon we did say, like that 100, you know, up, down, if it holds above there, I almost cared more about that price than anything else. And let's go to the daily chart, actually. Let's go to the daily here. So you've rejected the 50. I just wanted to see it reclaiming that 100 to think about the longs on Alibaba. Otherwise, it was going to be trying to catch a bit of a bottom, which I did try to do here. It did this interesting up-down. 93.50 was the previous low. It caught a bottom and then double topped at that level. I tried the breakout, didn't work. Tried the consolidation dip buy, kind of tight stops, did not work either. I just knew I was much more confident with PDD because I traded it off these levels earlier. So I had a feeling if that popped into strength, the gap down on Pinduoduo beneath 90, had this 88.5 the other day that we're short in front of, so I just waited for that to come in, shorted it back to 86.5, and then that was kind of it. Like I was just done with the stock and didn't go to Alibaba. And as long as this is beneath 90, I like and want to respect the trend. Like this is a kind of clean trend reversal. That's one of the reasons you can use moving averages on a daily is like establish a trend or a trend reversal. Then as a day trader, you can just favor a direction. So I do favor the short on both those names. Baba underneath 100, Pinduoduo beneath that 90. As far as afternoon, same old story. It's kind of tricky to trade these Chinese ADRs in the afternoon because they're unlikely to move as much as like the equivalent name here. Like if you're trading, like we're trading Tesla and Meta and Google because they're almost certainly on the average day going to move more than the Chinese ADRs. But this morning was fire if you were short either one of these. Probably JD as well.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about, I'll have to zoom out of that chart right there. I just want to bring out right now the ES, right now breaking back above 4K. So not NBA 2K or 4K. This is ES 4K one more time. So there it is coming into play right now. A nice little gap to the upside here. breaking through. Now we'll see it's just made a move up here in the last 1 minute. So we'll get that candle to fill out, and there we go. Let's go, man. This is what we're talking about. It's time to get going there. As I look at the ES, I don't even have to look at my net. I know I'm long Google and on Meta. So hell yeah. Right now, here's Meta, man. We're long $1 in the money now on Meta off that VWAP push. Nice move. Go Meta. And then look at Google, guys. Google, Sharif, it's $1 in the money right now. What the hell just happened to Google? Did Bard just save the day or something? That's a monster move up there. I was not expecting that. I'm waiting at 89. I was waiting at 92 there off that move. Let's just punch something out if we can there. We'll remove some liquidity there. And we miss it at 88? How did that even happen? If that's not front running there, I don't know what that is. I saw 88 on the bid, pushed enter, and it went to 87. Okay, there it is. We're out now. Some 88s there. What did I get? I got 88. Yeah, so good out right there for us as, Google right now. Tape teleportation to talk about Luca's little saying there, but that's a nice move to the upside, and instantly, man, we got to take that out. Look at these longs on Google. Today, as we always say,
awesome,
is an awesome day there, Brendo. Some nice extension here happening right now. Okay, Meta, like this one's blasting too. What was that high right there? 30s? We'll take that if we can get it. Let's go back up to the upside right now, 172.25. Hey, man, we've got dollars, not cents in the money right now. So let's start taking it before we start making no sense. So here we go. Nice upside move there for Meta. Congratulations if you're long in what is a return to positivity here in the markets, which really doesn't make that much sense. I still feel like the market's a little overdone, but okay. If you want to go to the upside and we're long, I'll take it for now. So, all right, one name that I promise you is not green today, and I shouldn't say that because I haven't looked in an hour, is Netflix, Brendo.
Yeah, might be no news is good news here, guys. Our friend Tony Knack over at Financial Juice just telling me in my ear that no monetary policy comments coming from Daly in this speech at all. So nothing in regards to what's going to happen as far as interest rates or inflation coming from Daly. Here's the note on Netflix. They confirmed this morning that price cuts will happen and have, in fact, happened in more than 30 countries outside of North America. No additional details as far as the extent of those, but the initial move, however, for Netflix, very negative off this news. Actually came out right here in the pre-market. And then out of the gate this morning, wow, this thing just got flushed. But here we go. Yeah, back to the upside even for Netflix.
Yeah, look, just a couple of things here. I have a trailing stop on Tesla. I think it's gone pretty far here, a couple of bucks. And I don't want to run the risk of when you get the Fed speaker stopping, you get the levitation up and then it floats back to the downside. So Netflix was obviously a great short this morning. I had a tongue-in-cheek said to Sean, oh, don't worry, maybe it is back upside. No, it's not green, but it's back above VWAP, and 325 is the level if there's going to be a turn on Netflix. 325 and 330, I remember it from the morning. I haven't put anything on yet. I want to see what's up when Daly kind of stops talking. But the longs are banging right now, and this was one of the weakest names that you could find this morning because it took out the 50 period as a reversal. So down 3%. If I'm looking for something at short that isn't Intel, because quite frankly, every kind of turn there's been, I think Intel's been a good one, and Netflix stands out at that 325 level. I'd just like it to eke a little bit higher, maybe even test the level, like break it, get to it, something along those lines before locking that one in. Netflix, it is what it is. It's been so strong that it was probably due for a healthy pullback anyways. Today just happened to be the day.
All right. I haven't looked at Netflix in a bit. I think we will go back over to that, but of course we made a nice little run on Amazon today for sure. Wow, we took I think $1.80 or something on Amazon to the short side. That was a crazy trade. But right now, let's just look at Meta. We talked about going long 170. It's on the sticky note here, and you could. Okay, now Meta is just, we're watching it right now. Wow, I'm just like, this is really getting to go to the upside. Now we're at $1.30 in the money on this one. But there it is right there, 170 held. I mean, it went down to 169.50, so that was something. I got out of it. I got scared to the out, and then we finally went long when we started to break back above here. But I just want to look at this right now because see what we're running into right here. So that's from yesterday at this time, right in the afternoon before we made that move down. We got back to this 172.50 area and then made a move down. And then obviously overnight and everything this morning, we got going up here to 173.50 before stopping. So I'm thinking that our next target to get out, let's see if we could take out this. Well, we're right here right now. We could just, you know, get in and out of this trade and not really worry too much about it here. But we're going to just wait on this. I'm going to put an offer around 173. If the market does blast to the upside, good to go on Meta, but that's something that I'm going to be looking at. And then just real quick here, I just want to show you also something that I've added to the toolbox. You guys know it because I talk about it now. That's the dollar. Look at the dollar. Nice move down. That's great for these longs. It's absolutely great as it's a big move. There's not even any green candles here. There goes the DXY all the way to the downside. We are not sponsored by Forex.com or by TradingView, but it's all that I use here until Trade Ideas can get this into their platform, which it's an entitlement thing. It's very expensive. We talked about that with Michael Noss. But anyways, there goes the dollar to the downside. I don't even zoom it out. I'm just watching this for scalping. So there it is. Nice move. Let's see if this can continue as long as there's some dollar strength.
There's a weird candle, I'll show you even, on PayPal here, guys. Big spike through 75, up to 75.50. That actually printed all the way up to 75.50 there. I didn't see anything, but might just be some stops getting run on PayPal just popped up. Anyway, let's talk about the chips. Let's go back, revisit Nvidia if you want, but I wanted to mention AMD now, I think it's 3.5. Here's Micron, 2.6%. I was doing some reading during lunch. In regards to what is to come next week, Micron is going to present at a conference next week, and there's a ton of analysts that are very bullish on what they are going to announce. That's coming up Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, next week. So 2.6 here for Micron, but this entire group riding the Nvidia train today.
Most everything rides the Nvidia train. So Sean talked about Nvidia already, so I'm not gonna go over that one, but I'm gonna go over Intel because the moment that Nvidia found a top this morning, Intel failed to the 26 level. So failed 26 level, up down here, gets to 10s, short 26, it got to 25.6. I then looked at the lower high here, get in a little bit too early off 75, that's a pre-market low, stopped out, but then jumped right back in the trade. Rode it all the way down to yesterday's bottoms. Probably started a bit early scalping off the 5 area. That's too tight, but then started working off of those 25, 60 to 70, which we saw earlier today. Now the market is moving to the upside. I'm 2 long, 1 short. It is fitting that Intel would be the last one, the last short standing for me. And if we do break back into the morning range, I'm going to have to get out of this in the mid-60s. It has been a good one. I'm obviously faring better on it shorting than yesterday because 930 was insane in yesterday's trade on this name. And look, Nvidia, if it gets to 240, that's like that huge line. Wherever Intel is, if Nvidia were to fail 240, I would short Intel wherever it happens to stand. I said that this morning, and if Nvidia gets there and doesn't get through, I like the short on Intel as a sympathy play. I mean, up only 0.4%. You can say getting dragged up by everything else, but I flip over to AMD, up 4% on AMD. You flip over to Micron, and you know I could pick any name you want. It just doesn't really matter. Micron up 2.5%. So Intel kind of relatively weak compared to the bunch. That's why I still favor the short versus the other chip names.
I'm gonna get let Lucid fall down a little bit more. We'll get a piece out here. All right, so Intel traded it differently, both positive on this name here today. So we waited for that dip buy into sort of yesterday's closing prices here. It didn't even get that far. We were gonna think about getting it to 50. It didn't happen. So immediately, this is at 9:27 actually in the pre-market. I thought it really happened right off the open, but it didn't. So we do get that dip buy. Same thing as getting a trade off the open, basically. We waited there for that. It came in. We get that bid, which is great, and then we run it all the way to the upside. So that's 25.65. Our best out's 95, so that's 30 cents. But then, as we wrote it down on our sticky note, we were talking, guys, about this kind of a long. Hold on, I just got to address this position. We were talking about a 26 break long. So it did break. We did take the shares. We had to hold it against us about 13 cents. It came back up. We only got a piece out for 8 cents, and then it started to drop. And then we just started to get out here, still, you know, keeping back our profits on the day. Got out before it breaks this huge low, and then we bought here, which was pretty good. We bought at 46, we got out at 57, didn't get anything out, held it all the way, and just took a piece out now again there. So, you know, a bunch of longs, been working, but it's been a tight one. It hasn't really moved today. I still like Intel for longs, and we'll just see. And the reason why I'm saying that is 25 even. It's just a 25 even level there on Intel. Here's a daily chart. We do have a wick, so pardon that, but here's 25. So, I mean, it even goes all the way down there. This bottom wick right here is 24.50. So if you take those wicks away, we don't really have a close below 25 yet. So until we close below 25, it's all the same for me, man. We'll wait for that to happen, and when it does, then we will jam out of that one. But right now, I like it. I like this position for Intel. We'll try to buy some 25s. But for right now, it's AMD and Nvidia. And we've already talked about Nvidia, Brendo. I can do it quickly again. We did have a great long earlier on this morning. It was off to 30, if I can zoom this out or back in a little bit here. There's the 230, there's the take $1, $1.50, $2, $7, sorry, $6 right to $6.50 right there on the high side. But look what's happening right now. Looks like it wants to take it out. Why not? We're already hella long everything. So if it wants to continue to go up, we're fine with that. We did get out of some of our Lucid, but okay, hold on a second. Let me talk about that quickly. Lucid came down and we got some 57s. So far so good. We're short at 57. We got 57s. Let's see if it will pull back even further here. LCID, Lucid, Meta blasting right now. Intel, Google. You know what's good. Chips next. Oh, Square on deck, Brendo?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. Just keep my eye out on this one as well. Altria, Mo popping up here on decent volume. Anyways, not seeing anything yet on that, but just a heads up. There's a huge volume spike here and a move for Altria to the upside. There's Square, actually looking very similar to some of the chip makers right now in the overall market. I bring this up only because of earnings tonight and a nice look here on the day as well. Block kind of the last of the bigger, anyways, fintech names to report. I did see Bitcoin trying to move back to the upside, obviously going to affect this one as well.
So a couple of things here. I did get quick in and out of Netflix there. It was a 94. I really would have liked to have gotten some shares above 324. 324 into 25. I didn't. Actually got the 24s into 23. If it pops up again, I'm actually going to cancel this order. If it pops up again, I'll look for fills between 24 and 25 for a reload. And then, look, we're talking about Block. They do report. I'm going to get to Affirm in a second because that's the one I'm actually in. Block is making a run. I mean, everything is off the double bottom at 72. So it's gone green, and it's bounced. Hey there, 50-period moving average on the daily.
Hey
Consolidation bounce. That's always a pretty good sign. That's 72.75. Hey, look where it broke up from. That's not bad at all. So this is probably a decent long. However, I'm not looking to add to that or add that to the list of longs because I want to play Affirm the way that it worked yesterday. And the way it worked yesterday was catch the dip buy at about 12.80. That was the morning sort of breakout price. And then it was just trending to the upside. It ended up breaking 13.25 for the late long. This time in the morning, now all I looked for was I didn't think we were getting down to 12.80 again because it was making higher lows the last couple of days. So in this particular sense, I just looked for the afternoon support area before it made the 25 break. That was down here. It's like 12.96 into about 13. So I started going long, probably a bit too early, stopped it out, and then it made this wick bottom. So if someone asked, how do I have this entry in Affirm? Because I got in early at 15, stopped it out at 10, was like, that's too early. Let it make this wick bottom right here beneath 13, and the second it did that, I'm long above. Then I go long 9s. Then I added to it 12. So I actually went long twice after it made that wick bottom and still have it. I'd like to catch dips now into 13.30 if they even come here. So I like Affirm a little bit more just because of the trend that it's putting in the last few days and the fact that it tried to hold that same 13 area. So we'll be all over Square probably tomorrow after they report. I just don't want to chase something that's likely to move with something I'm already trading.
Yeah, I like to trade things a little bit after the fact, but the thing is here, PayPal is one of those names where, first of all, we just got out some more of Lucid. Sorry? Okay, everything's fine. Okay. We just got a little bit out. Oh, actually, we did not get some more out. My bad. On Lucid, but we are going to try to do that. 75 right here on PayPal. Pretty nice. There we go. We just got Lucid right there. Pretty nice number right there for PayPal to possibly short it. This name is weaker than the market. You can see the market's only 0.28 right now. I'll move this over a little bit so we can see it. And PayPal's down almost 1%. This has been pretty nasty to the downside here. We'll see what happens when Block reports tomorrow. But yeah, this could be a dangerous play, I would think, for Square. It's right at the 50 period, like Neil was mentioning. 72 is right there. If that drops, I unfortunately could see 60. We called a nice move up for Alibaba if it was going to hold that 100. That didn't happen. So I know it's only 72, but if you don't hold 70 or something here on Square, then I think this does move pretty dramatically back down to the downside. So you see what it's capable of. Pretty nasty things. So I would say right now, watch out for this move coming back in right now for Square. You know what? Before I go back, Brendo, hold on a second. I just want to check this. This has been a pretty cool website. I want to shout out to Prad for this one. You can search by name for a lot of different things, and I actually haven't even looked at it, so I shouldn't shut it out that much, other than the fact that I just click on this earnings thing because it shows you an expected move here, and this is an options-based move, right? And then you can also see what's happened before. So we had 11% their last earnings call, 2.5% their earnings call before, 26% right there. Notice the big moves are happening on the beats, right? When they miss, look at this. Miss, it's up. Miss or beat, slight beat, basically flat. Big beat, 19 cents, huge move. Big, not even a big beat, 5 cents, monster move right there. So if we go back a year ago today to this quarter, then you're going to see a 26% move in block. So whether or not you want to look at that kind of stuff, technically speak, or theoretically, technically, both of them, I've never looked at that. So I just saw it right there. Pretty interesting. We do expect a big move there for Square. Hopefully not too big if you're in it, but if you're playing options, you like that move. So we'll see what happens with Square tonight.
A little one quickly, guys. One SPA, OSW on the NASDAQ, up 10%, just on a mission here today. This was an earnings name as well. So huge volume comes in just after we come back on at 2 o'clock there. So straight to the upside so far. They beat right across the board. There was a couple of positive notes from analysts as well. I was just reading through this note on Square as well, coming up tonight, as we were saying. In the last quarter, Cash App in the previous quarter accounted for $774 million in gross profit, almost matching $783 million across the rest of the payment platform. So they're basically saying, watch it for what they say about Cash App for Square, guys.
Yeah, so a couple of things. I trailed out of Tesla. I took it out for $2, and it's actually going higher. Tesla's actually at 203. But I'll get to what I'm looking at next year, because I still want to go dip buy hunting there and in Affirm, which also trailed out. So the 10s were out at 50, and we'll look for a dip buy on that. But the dip buy is already in for AMC. If you'll remember in the afternoon, AMC was yesterday afternoon, AMC was trying to make a run and ended up flushing, catching a bid. It held $6. That's kind of key. Holding the $6 level and then breaking out. You can call. I think the breakout was 635. Michelle Hebert, I think, had 620 on the long side. I was looking at 15s. But now I like the other higher low that it's putting in here, because it can go tight risk and take 2 shots at this on any kind of a dip. A lot of times you get like a capitulation or pullback when you get a wick like that. But the trend in the market is pretty darn strong here. So I want to take a shot at this for the long side of the trade, at least for now, on AMC. If it does not hold like 625 or 620, then I think you got to get out of this one and then just give up on the longs, because it can't get through yesterday's tops. But I'm in here trying to grab some 47s and 48s here on AMC for the dip.
All right, so Brendan was giving us their Fed member, I think he's a voting member daily there, done with no mention of any monetary policy. So that's good. I still
not
think...
This year.
No, not this year.
He
okay.
is next year.
Yeah. Oh, voting member, you mean?
You
have the voting member
Here's the
thing
thing. I just found this.
Yeah, show it.
He is a little bit hawkish. Just come to the chart. Again, I'm using some, like, whatever. This is like In Touch Capital Markets. I Googled it so I could find something, because I was curious about it myself. So he's slightly hawkish, not voting this year, but voting next year, for what it's worth. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, sometimes we see non-voting members move the markets anyway, so I don't know how much we want to read.
Get your votes ready. Yeah.
Because who was it the other day that's not a voting member and the market just was all over the place when they were talking?
It's kind of just
Bullard. It's Bullard. Bullard's always moving the markets, and Bullard doesn't vote till like 2025.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know what it is? Just algos sweeping, right? They're sweeping for information, and you know, any kind of a story they can find, they see the word Fed, they see bullish, bearish, hawkish, dovish, and then sort of the algos kick on. But you know what? Algos be damned. They ain't gonna stop. We ain't gonna stop. I ain't afraid no algos. Right there, I ain't afraid no ghosts. You know, maybe that's what we'll talk about.
It's a great. I love
Ghostbusters. You know, I don't want to ruin the Ghostbusters thing.
I love Ghostbusters.
Yeah, more to come on Ghostbusters. But okay, just quickly there, we'll ring the register one more time. We'll just go cash cow because that's what Meta's been lately. And there it is again today. Boom, nice little move there. We just got some out there at 80s right there for Meta. You can see where we're at right now. This is a $1.50 trade. So just like Neil scalped out a little bit there on Tesla to take the profit. You know, we're now really blasting off here in the ES. If I change this over to the NASDAQ, you'll see double this right now as the NASDAQ up 0.92 right now. So that's continuing to blast upside. We basically called that move from 12.4 to 12,000. That happened yesterday and into today. And now you're getting a blast basically off that level. So here's Meta, buy these dips. And then eventually, well, we were shorting it, but, you know, shorting, getting out around 170 before blowing up and then saying, forget about the short. Let's flip over to the long when we got to view up, and then it's just explosion now back up to the upside for Meta. So there's another out for us. Let's continue to let that one run. Google, same thing, man. I just said to Sharif right now, it's like, bro, you got to buy this at $90. It came right into 90, like almost immediately, just straight down, stopped there at 89.80, gave us a level. These ones are the one good trades that you're looking for, even though I have a couple bottoms here. I just wish I didn't scalp it out, but there it is. Huge move to the upside as well. Meta right now taking out 173. Okay, that's a nice move back up. And by the way, Intel right now is making dreams come true, not really, by not moving. But if it could take this level out here, 65, then I would like to see a retest up here of 80. So let's get going on this one. We're 17 cents in the money, obviously, as we talk about it here on Intel. So let's let that continue to go. And then just an update on Lucid. I was giving you guys updates as this was happening. I got two fills. I remember I thought I got filled. Well, I did eventually. One at 57, one at 58 off of these shorts right there. So let's wait to see. We did take a little bit of an L because we had to average into this price. Our average price was 54. So even as we continue to go up, it's a little misleading because it shows 59. We go first in, first out, stuff like that. So that's why we get that average. But my out, just so everyone understands, is 70. So if we break above 70 now on LCID, maybe the Saudis are going to come in and take this thing over, we will get out at 70. So realistically, we could hold it to 85, but why do that? If you have an out and something looks good on paper, take it and worry about the next trade. So that's another thing that I feel like I've gotten better on, is that not worrying about, hey, I got out too early, I got out too late. Get out where you're supposed to, or where you think you're supposed to get out, and then reassess that decision afterwards. Because, you know, if I don't get out at 70, then my next level is 80, and then when it hits that 85, it's like, duh, I just could have saved myself that 15 pennies. And then when it works, Neil, you've talked about this a lot of the time, you feel like you want to congratulate yourself, but you broke your rule. So it's like if you continue to break your own rules, then they just shouldn't be rules. Like, you know what I'm saying? So be disciplined, and I hope my kids aren't listening.
Oh, I just thought of another animation.
You never want to break your rules, kids. Or my rules.
I'm going to write this one in our animations to add list, the mic drop one. That was the other one.
I would like the mic drop one. Yeah, that's a good one.
So I've just reloaded. I don't have a reload key or a new position alarm or anything like that. So I just got back into Netflix, kind of at that 24 level, 324 that is. The same one we just had. It just gave a $1 drop and then came right back into the top. I'm 3 cents away from stopping out in Intel. And Nvidia, which I'm also watching. Ooh, that's right, these wicks. So Nvidia, it's not quite at the high of the day. It's at 239. If it does get all the way to the top, I would take another trade on Intel, sort of shorting that. But there is also the play. I remember the last time Nvidia was at a level like this, and I shorted something else instead of Nvidia, and Nvidia was a better trade. So if Nvidia does fail the high for some reason, it gets there, fails at 240, I probably will take a shot at it. It is worthy of that trade. I am out of a firm, and I'm kind of regretting it already, but I put a trailing stop in when it did the over-under at 1350, and then it broke out from that same level. So I'm going to play dips back into the higher low on this name. I just want to respect the fact that it is stair-stepping to the upside, and I want to get something back into this trend. Tesla already kind of did this. Like, I got out, went over under at 03s, and it looks like it's establishing 02s again, so I'm going to cancel my 01 because the consolidation long would probably be back down here in front of that 02 level. So the new position was just me getting into not AMC, we got that alongside Netflix at that 324 level. I'd add one time in front of 325 and then look for that. Not even all the way back into VWAP. Market may be too strong for that. And then looking for Tesla consolidation long after we just jumped out of it off of VWAP. I wouldn't give an 02 all the way back to VWAP because that's too much risk. Giving up $2 realistically in this market if you're buying the tops doesn't make sense.
All right, I'm just going to say, I'm going to tweet it out, but I don't know how to edit the tweet, so it's going to look kind of crazy. But I just want to say this to David Dundallo. What's up, David Dundallo? He heard me mention the other day that Walmart was set up for a move down, and I even specifically said I thought puts were a good move here for Walmart. And there it is right now, David. He grabbed them for 70 cents and sold them today for $2.75. So congratulations to you, David, for that one. I'm going to tweet that one out there. If you have a handle, put it in, and I'll definitely mark you on that one. But that was a good one. And then if we just want to talk about Walmart quickly there, congratulations, man. Like 4X on your trade. Nothing wrong with that. That's a good one. What I was looking at for Walmart was, honestly, everyone said it was a pretty decent quarter. Maybe it was. I don't know. But either way, man, it still didn't break above this 150. Those are the levels we were talking about. And I was just like, on earnings, this is a short. And I don't have as much experience with puts or calls or all that kind of stuff as a lot of you. But thank you for taking it and sort of justifying that play. So there it is, all the way to the downside. I wonder what you did take. So let me know, David, actually. What did you take? Like, what was the strike price and whatnot? Because maybe you took a 140 or maybe a 140 weekly. I don't know. I think that might have blown up a little bit more than that if you took that. So anyways, let me know what it was. But congratulations again. That's what it's all about, man. It's not about, we'll make the calls here every day. We'll make a lot of calls. But like when I'm trying to say puts, calls, things like that, I'm glad that you took that and it made sense to you. And again, it's not about listening to something that I'm saying. It's that whole give horse water or take him to water, whatever that thing is. Lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, things like that, or give a man a fish rather than teach him. It's just like, if we can all look at this and notice that this is probably a short, especially if we don't take out levels on earnings, then, maybe we can make some more calls. So let me know if you guys see anything else that's like that. I mean, I'm here for stuff like that. So, great call, David, and congratulations to your profit. And we'll just go like this. Keep that money in the wheelbarrow, though. Don't throw bad money after good. Keep making good decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just messaged to Sharif. Sharif, you should probably look at where Walmart bounced today because it's that same 140 level on the daily chart. So it caught a bid where you kind of would have expected it to. I'm back into Tesla. So look, we're backing off the 02, which I said will probably be a relatively tighter stop than we would have had. Kind of the same thing that was around VWAP. We'll go ahead and take this. If we do fail, do have the Netflix short on, and I do think that's going to be a little more aggressive into the downside. So I want to see if we're going to hold. I don't like even dollar stops on Tesla. I think that's a bad idea, but to each their own. I tend to give it 10 to 15 cents beneath every even dollar level if I'm taking a long in front, and generally speaking, don't want to have a bid more than 20 to 25 cents in front. So generally speaking, 50 cents plus slippage is what I'm looking to risk when I take one of these trades. To each your own. I think you want to find your own risk to reward ratios. Sometimes you like that hard stop at the even level. I just find you get wicked out too often. I want it confirmed that it's going to be failing this level. And if I'm looking for up here, like would be 1-to-1, well, actually that's better than 1-to-1 if you get so threes. But now that we are coming to the downside, I look over, am I getting any good fills? I'm not quite getting the fills I want to add to my short of Netflix. That's sort of the problem, as I like Netflix to the south side. But it's not really giving me like these highs, like 324.50, closer to 325. Like that's the level up here. Those would be the money fills. And then if this pulls back into VWAP, you can get like $3. I'd like to be able to take 1, 2, 3, kind of obvious when you look at levels like that. I just got a fill up at 324.50. So there you go. You complain about it, and then all of a sudden you catch a fill. That is literally not how the market works. It's just, it happened to happen here. Happened to happen here.
Okay, so someone asked, is Lucid good for a long-term hold? I don't know about Lucid for a hold or calls or puts or anything. They're too expensive. Like, the thing about why Walmart worked is it's not that expensive, I don't think, as a pretty staple name, but Lucid could go anywhere. So I'm not, just because we hit one Walmart call doesn't mean we're going to hit them all. But for me, for a day trade right now, I think Lucid seems like maybe it's topped out right here. So, a couple tops there, 63. Let's see. I'm still in the short. My next bid is at 55. I mean, obviously right here, it's a little bit, it's 1 penny below where the 50 period is, and then we're down here at 50, I believe. 52 right here. And then I think we can get back into this area, and if this doesn't hold, back down to VWAP. Remember, when stocks are trading around VWAP, you want to make sure that if traders are like, hey, I want to get short, right? You don't want to find out that the average price of your client's trade is below VWAP for the day. You'd always want to get above it. So right now, if traders are looking to get short on Lucid, this is a great time to do it because you're well above VWAP right now. You're getting a better price than the average price today. So I would say this is a good time to bring it to the downside again here, as traders may be averaging into some of their shorts. I don't know if they're expecting an 8 bounce or not. What is the 52-week low anyways for Lucid? I thought it was 6. It is 6.
It is 6.
It is 6. So there's a lot of room to the downside. So I could, with that kind of logic, I do think there's an opportunity for that to happen here for Lucid. So yeah, let's continue the short. My next bid is at 55. A little bit of knowledge there, but that's generally how a lot of the institutions that are hiring traders on the floor will look at a volume weighted average price. So they have, at the end of the day, there'll be a report and they'll say, okay, the VWAP for Apple today is 148.50. Where did you get us long? And then they're graded. I mean, who knows, graded or not, whatever. There's Wall Street. Who knows how that's working these days? But they'll be like, okay, great. Your average price for us is 148.30. So you beat the VWAP today. Beaucoup. But anyways, let's go. That's a little bit of a talk there, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show.
So I had an accidental reversal long on Netflix, put 2 stop orders instead of 1, but I'm not holding it, didn't want the long, so I'm going to get out of it right away. It does net, it is what it is. It nets like a few shekels of a win, but I didn't want the short above, so I didn't want the long above that 325. If anything and the market rolls over, I still believe we get back below 25 and this can be shorted, but I will allow the weakness to come in before I test that. And there was a good point. Someone just said in the chat, it was Nick Clemenzi. Nick Clemenzi. I just said if I was looking at volume profile in Tesla, I'd be going short instead of long, looking at a volume sort of like gap beneath that level. We messed around with volume profile. I mean, I was actually looking at it for beginning of the pandemic for a bit. It's not in our platform, but there's other places you can find it. I found some uses for it, but just personally could never find anything that specifically worked for myself. I think it's a decent indicator and certainly gives you a good idea of where the price action can flow to and give you key support and resistance levels or key price levels to trade off of, and then where the vacuum comes underneath. The way I look at it, though, is if there's vacuum underneath, then it also has the opportunity to bounce up to the next level to the upside as well. So you got to trade your own book. I think it's a good one. There's no such thing as a fantastic, the best indicator or the worst indicator. It's just whatever works for you. Back test it and make sure that you stick to what works, right?
No, 100%. I mean, we've both added things to our layouts, off of each other, off Brendan, off Fahad. I mean, Fahad's telling us every day how to trade. So, there's lots of things like that. I know a lot of people around here have used the 50 period on the 1 minute and things like that. And that's just something that I was fooling around with. And again, daily charts, things like that. Do you? There's not one technical indicator that will work 100% of the time, period. Except for the,
this one.
Yeah, we're getting that by David Westermeyer.
Will the new 8 ball come in by the end of the month? I don't know. That's probably a good question.
I mean, did you?
Very doubtful. Okay,
right.
Well.
Or you can just use me as your leading indicator, but I think that's very dangerous to do that. But no, I would just say about all of that. I was talking with my wife just minutes before we went on the air. It's Friday already.
No, it's not. It's Thursday.
No, I know. I know,
No,
but we have an hour left in the day. I always look at it like when we're doing this show, I have so much fun on here that I just got to get through the day, and then there's one more day. Thursday is actually my favorite day of the week.
Why Thursday?
Well,
Gymnastics? Sorry.
Well, gymnastics is tonight anyways, by the way.
Notice where the mind went there?
And karate. Well, no, if that would be the case, it would be the weekend, because watching my kids play hockey, honestly, it's better than baseball. Hockey is by far, for me anyways, the #1 sport to watch your kid play. It's amazing to watch them, but and they both play baseball and everything as well. But anyways, to each their own. No, because Thursday, so you can get excited about the weekend, right? But you still have one more day to trade. So it's like, it's not Friday, so it's not like, oh man, can't trade tomorrow, yada, yada. But it's still like, okay, the weekend, so you're getting jacked up for the weekend. Plus, you have, yeah, exactly. And then you have different kids' activities, so on and so forth. Plus, it used to be the day that The Office was on, and Seinfeld, and all that kind of stuff. So historically, I'm definitely feeling, what is it? Thursday night. So I like Thursday night. What's your favorite day of the week?
You know, I actually don't have a favorite day of the week. But it's turning into Sunday, not because of football. Like you said, you love watching your kids do hockey.
Yes,
my daughter
sir.
just recently got into like these dance lessons. And
so cute.
So we do dance after. This is kind of corny, but like after dinner, we tend to have a dance party at our house. I'll put some music on. I'll be doing the dishes, quite frankly. And my daughter just loves to dance and put on a show. And so she has so much fun at dance class that's now my new favorite. And it's a Sunday thing. So I kind of like Sundays. I like them anyways because of football, because I'm a huge Bills fan. But yeah, recently it's been that I don't really have a day of the week that stands out. Every day of the week is fantastic that you're above ground. And you know what? The best day of this week is today, because we haven't even shouted out. Thank you everybody that participated. It ain't over in the fundraiser. Because we hit the 10K. Thank you, obviously, the True Trading Group who matched 5 for 5. This is to raise money for Turkey and Syria. The earthquake was obviously devastating. And thank you, Fahad, for organizing this one. But it's not done. You can still actually contribute. So today is a great day for another reason. So Thursday is now great for many reasons. I did want to go back. I was asked about AMC, and I kind of said when I got into this, I really don't want it to break 630. That's not just like 620 here in VWAP, but I didn't want it to break 630 because this was the key breakout price. So I wanted to kind of work into a long in front of it, and if it breaks here, not try to hold on to dodge. I got a 45 price, so I kind of feel like 15 to 20 cents worth of risk. The high of the day sits up at 665, a little better than 1-to-1 to the high of the day, but actually has to get to the top to be any good. Last time I checked, it hasn't gotten there. And just if you're checking out on Nvidia, if it had gotten to the high, I think I would have put a short on. It just didn't. It didn't actually get to the morning high at 239. So 238 and starting to pull back on Nvidia here. Still the strongest name. Well, I don't want to say in the market because there's small caps that have probably done more, but the strongest big cap name. But it is starting to peel back with the market here. And now that might be the chance to get back into Netflix with the market starting to turn. It's back below that 325 level, which is where I didn't want it above that 25. I wanted the shorts after it's rejecting that level.
I just got to quickly talk about something because we are almost out of Google. So if Google takes this volume weighted average price right here, we're going to get out of it. So it's the 50 period is there, the volume weighted average price, break of 80. I mean, right now you're just, the VWAP has been very, very consistent. So whether or not it's pennies, it doesn't really matter to me. We're going to get out if we break 80. So that's 77, same difference. Hopefully we can get back to the upside here on Google, but we don't have a big piece of it anyways. It's from that bottom. So, you know, we're just letting it go. The reason why I was going to, and I'll throw it in a second, I'm not going to do the same thing with Meta. Meta's been strong, and I don't want to give up Meta if it takes this level, which is 172.50. Normally I would. I'd rather give up Google just because Google's not as strong as Meta. So if this falls, then I feel like there's more downside risk to this name than there would be in Meta, if that makes any sense. What's up, Brendan?
We heard from the EU Commission this morning on potentially banning TikTok from phones or devices in the EU. The Canadian Federal Provincial Privacy Regulator just coming out saying they're going to launch a joint investigation into TikTok as well.
Canada's in the building?
Canada as well? Uh-oh, that's even worse.
Don't
That's
ban
even
my wife
worse.
from TikTok. How's she going to get all those recipes and everything? No, Instagram Reels is where it's at. We're going to have to wait. I mean, that should be good for Meta. And again, there's reasons why we're long Meta here, and I just feel like it's going to continue to work. I like Meta there. You know what name that we don't? You want to talk about something? I was going to say, I'm already in Meta.
I was actually just about to look at Meta myself. See if it was
Okay,
a
you can
trade.
look at it, because I was going to look at Snapchat, but go ahead, because we're talking about Meta.
No, so there might not be a trade here, to be honest with you, but it is consolidating higher, up 1%. I was looking at 173 as if that was going to be something, but I remember 73 as kind of a level for another reason. Like, that was the resistance from yesterday. So, yeah, if anything, I'm not really seeing an obvious long up here. That's too much to chase. I did have the 70 long 3 times. I did not. See, this is the crazy thing. Like, it worked twice. Third time did not work. And then there's a big wick bottom. And then on the way back up is almost always a better entry point, right? So after it's flushed everybody out, and you know it when you're stopped out in it, that it ran the stops. I mean, go figure. If you had your stop run at a big level, probably other people had their stop run in the same price level, and then you want to jump back into it. I know Sharif had this, I think. I want to say it was Sharif that jumped back into this one at the 170, but this could be resistant to 73, so maybe I'd wait for dips. I'd wait for dips. Oh no, it was 169.69. That was that intentional? No, man.
Dude, my best fill on Meta was 169.40. Like, the thing is like, but we were short anyways. And then right to the upside. So yeah, just as Neil was talking, I'm still long Meta, and it's $1.70 in the money right now. So we could spin this for anybody that's long Meta right now for sure. I was looking at Snapchat again right now. Snapchat, a nice move, obviously, to the upside right now as Meta continues to go. This stock is going to be a beneficiary of any kind of a move there from TikTok, I would think anyways. I don't hear, like, again, my kids are just 8 and 11, so it's not, they're not, I haven't even heard them mention Snapchat once. They know all about TikTok and Instagram, and their big thing is YouTube Shorts. So there's lots of reasons why, honestly, I'm long Google, and like, wait, once they can finally figure out, as I just get stopped out of my Google long, once they can finally figure out that YouTube Short thing, I think it's going to be,
the algos heard you.
the skies are the limit on that, because honestly, man, my kids, I'm just like, what are you doing? They're just scrolling through YouTube Shorts, just scrolling for not hours, but for many, many minutes at a time there. I think it's going to be absolutely huge, and no one's even looking at YouTube right now. So wait till you see if that does come into play. I still like Google.
Everyone here is looking at YouTube. Just kidding.
Yeah, everyone's, no, I mean, looking at YouTube for that reason. I still think the shorts is a huge business opportunity that they've untapped. And we'll see. Google also today, I just sent it to us. Again, today I saw a note about them using different languages and different things here to be able to translate, interpret content in different languages. So I still think it's going to be monstrous, the YouTube short thing, although we don't really do any YouTube Shorts. We should probably get back on that. All right, so there's the stop out right there on Google. So, like I said, I'm going to hold the Meta. We got stopped out. I mean, it's $1 plus winner there. So that's for you, Mark Knight. But there it is, a nice little move there in Google to the downside. We don't have to be part of it. Maybe we're going to look to get short. But the market is still screaming. It's trying to hit the 50 period as well, back down to the downside. So let's hold off on everything and see where we're going.
Yeah, I did just get back into a firm, so pretty much exactly where I got out of it. It looks like it's trying to make that little push. When the market dipped back in, I just took the opportunity to get something in the 50s. It did test up to 63. I think there's room to get to the morning highs. Now, a lot of that is the pre-market, so you can say that it got to 14. That's kind of a rough level because pre-market levels don't necessarily matter as much. So there's air up here once you get past 1370. That was the high at the open yesterday. That was where it failed at 9:30. So 1370 is that big line, which means I should probably get an offer out in front of it just in case you don't break the top, right? Like, I don't need it failing the high of the day from yesterday and the open resistance, and I get absolutely nothing out. That would be almost ludicrous. AMC, it's starting to make a move back to the upside. So it did bounce off 630. Once it gets back above 50s, then it's like try to get out in front of the high, yesterday's high, and then if it breaks out the top, hold to 7. So that's the plan of action over there for AMC. Needed to get going. Short Tesla or Apple. Sometimes I look over in the chat and I see like the last thing there, and it's like short Tesla or Apple. And it occurred to me that I don't think, like I actually had some trades in Apple off the bottom, kind of similar to Meta, just a little bit too early. Apple's not quite at that 150 level, but 150 has been a problem for Apple the last couple of days. And I mean literally the last 3 days, really, because it was above 150 before that. But each time it gets up there, if the futures are at resistance, it's not a bad proxy to short that as well. But essentially, it's following the futures so tightly, you could just be on the Qs or the ES instead of shorting Apple 150. But I think pick your poison almost. I kind of like Netflix because it's down 3% and it has a defined level. I like it at that 25 area.
I'm looking at Apple here and thinking it's going to be a long off of 149. So let me tell you why quickly here, and I think I'm going to do it. So I was just looking at Snowflake also. Let's look at Snowflake quickly because this was, and then I got sidetracked talking about Apple because I was like, I haven't traded Apple in a while. All right, so it's not super crazy or anything like that. You know, the spread. Well, now the spread is fine in Snowflake. I was just looking at it 2 seconds ago and it was 20 cents. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so it just opens up when it opens up. So that's what that's doing. But okay, so just to go backside a little bit here, Snowflake off that 151 right there that we just bounced off of, that could possibly be something. If you sort of zoom back out here for Snowflake, it just goes right. This is the kind of level. That's 151.20 that I was looking at from before, and we're right at that rate now. And then we just broke that to the downside, but then stopped basically flat at 151. So, you know, just look what happened when we broke 151 the first time. Big time movement to the upside. There's 151. It kept going and didn't stop until 80 cents, and here it is again. So I feel like we've missed this trade now because I could have just put it on. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed because we could have came back, and I should have this one on, but I don't. There it goes. Huge move up there. Nice move. Should have had it as now the spread tightens up. What's up with that? Honestly, when it was down here, I was looking at it. The spread was 20 cents. So I think there was just some decision making down here that people were not sure of what they wanted to do. So here, see, now on the move down, it really opens up. So scary time here to trade this. But 151 is interesting there for Snowflake. And then quickly here, I just want to talk about Apple because because it's Apple, because we like it. But right here, again, consolidation from the morning. Then the drop, but now you can see the markets rallying and bouncing off the 50 period. So, you know, this consolidation plus the 50 period makes sense to me. So I think I'm going to go long right now. Wow, happening now already. Okay. Do we want to talk? Did we already mention that Fahad's going to be shaving his head tomorrow on this show? So tomorrow.
Only on the midday. We said it.
Only on the midday. Okay, good. Okay, so good. So. It's at 2:40. Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So. Let's regroup. All right, so tomorrow, right now, tomorrow, we're going to try for 245, I believe. It's all barber dependent. You've seen my barber. It's a few of our barbers. He's just down the street here. Shout out to you, Halim, from Ralph's Barbershop. He's going to be coming in tomorrow, doing the good stuff here. I pay the guy too much for my haircut anyways, so he owes a favor. He's going to come in, shave this man's head. You've seen him on the show before. He's on my Instagram as well. It's Halim the Barber coming tomorrow at 2:45, and a big shout out to Fahad for doing that. It's always great, $11,000. Thank you so much, True Trading Group, and to all of you guys out there as well. The charitable hearts in our community are huge. And I think there's 40 retweets on the tweet that I made. So again, thank you so much to everybody for putting out that effort to try to get the message across. So means a lot to us. All right, Brendo, it's over to you. I'm going to go with Sector Watch.
I mean, it was close. It was a valiant effort. Yeah, we'll head into the final hour of the day here, guys. Just watching comments coming through. It's fine. We'll head into the final hour of the day here, guys. We'll give you an update on how things are shaping up with 60 minutes to go. 0.5% for the S&P 500 holding on to a nice gain for the Dow. Same story for the Russell. 1, 2, 3,000. 0.5% for the 2,000 leads the way. Still the big ones. NASDAQ 100. The biggest gainer so far today, almost a full percent. If you were with us early on this morning, we got you ready for Alibaba, Apple, and Netflix, among many others, including, we were talking a little bit about Lordstown and Nikola as well. Some of the smaller EVs moving around on news today. There's Alibaba trying to bounce. I was still watching this closing area of yesterday, but there's just not enough volume on Alibaba. But anyways, both Lordstown and Nikola still doing more volume than they usually do for this time of the afternoon, guys. But Baba, yeah, now down 1%.
No, Baba, you know what? Sometimes you look at Baba and it's like fundamentals don't always matter. It wasn't a terrible quarter. It just sometimes it doesn't have the quote unquote bid, and you probably know who I'm talking about behind it. And when it doesn't, it just tends to go. I want to get to Pay W in a second, but Ponzi was like, I'm assuming you meant Netflix. Yeah, to me, I'll close it when we take out the high. Like I'm playing off of this level, just looking at the 320, 21, 22, 23 are the outs that I'm looking for on Netflix. Actually, not even bidding yet. But if we hold this, then I think you can get a push back in. The market is consolidating, and you're also consolidating on Netflix. So I'm playing the consolidation area. If it takes out the top, it does. This might seem weird, but Pan W, like I should have been back to this one. I said it this morning, and then I did not go back to the well with the dip buy off the. Look at the level on Pan W, Palo Alto. So 183 holds again. It's got a double top. This just needs to be I don't know about chasing this today, but I do know about chasing it tomorrow and probably next week, because the breakout's been on and it was great off the 180. Yesterday gave a fantastic opportunity. Today it looks like it's going to be holding and taking out this top potentially. A 190 break's going to be in play as well. So I don't want to sleep on Palo Alto. This is a super strong stock, one that deserves a little bit more respect. I should have been there 2 days in a row. Earnings are the opportunity when you get some big time movers. So you want to go back to those names for the next couple of days, because then they'll slow down and get a little bit more boring.
All right, we'll flush ourselves. Yeah, Meta's a great one. $2 in the money on Meta, but we're going to flush ourselves down right here for Lucid, as that's making that. I mean, Google went back up too, man. We gave up 20 cents on Google as well. But there goes Lucid. Good job, Lucid, man. I mean, that just took it out. We were waiting for 70. We talked about that, and there's the out. So we were saved a little bit there, but then we lost on the last 2/3 of it. So didn't get enough out there at 70. Whether or not it breaks higher now is kind of not my monkey anymore. So I'm going to pass on Lucid. We tried the short again. We talked about why we liked it. Can't win on everything, but winning on most, which is nice. There goes Meta. I mean, we talked about that 173 area right here. It's all the way back, baby. All the way back to where we were at the top of the day. So good trade there for Meta, and good hold. I mean, this is what we've been doing, holding this name. Nice upside move there on that initial break. So, you know, I think it's worth holding forever now into the close. I mean, we're now into Power Hour. Welcome once again here. You found us. Thank you for doing that. And there it is, 173.25, continuing to rip to the upside. And look what else is paying off right now. Yeah, let's go. Awesome. Thank you, Nvidia, or Intel, sorry. Finally, two chip names there, Nvidia and Intel, but Intel making the move back up to the upside. This was another name that we had written down on our sticky note for a long, so I'm glad it's worked out for us today. Unfortunately, we talked about that break at 26. Let's see if we get back up there. I don't know if you guys thought I was joking when we were down here at 50. I was like, yeah, let's get it back to 80s. So let's get it back to 80s. We're not too far away now from this 80 take right now on this name. So let's wait to see if we can get something going on here for this trade. But it's Intel. It's at 80 right now. And I'm going to see about getting it out if it comes back up here. I mean, we can get it out right now. The market's still pumping, so yeah, maybe we'll hold on a little bit more, but there it is, quick 25-cent win for us on that. And then, yeah, Google, we unfortunately got out of that right there when we thought it was going lower, which we were temporarily right anyways on that move. Roblox trying to turn to Roblox right now trying to turn green on the day.
Red green's a good move.
Yeah, that's what it's doing right now.
So just to come over here, I'll slap the fail on Netflix. I always get out where my stop is. Even if you have sometimes you can have a gut feeling and just say, you know what, I'm gonna get out a little bit early. But I just adhere to my stop. It might come off the board like 5 seconds after we get out of position. I'm pretty sure that's what happens sometimes. But I stopped out once you made the fresh high. Kind of hard to see with my executions there. We like to put the arrows up so you can see our executions live. But when it made a fresh high, I use that high as my stop, and now I'm going to be out of it, so I'm only in 2 longs now. We have the AMC, which is trying to get back up past that 40 level, and then Affirm, which for whatever reason, I said, look, I said this yesterday, and I still kind of stick to this. I don't have a reason for why Affirm is going up, other than it seems to be bouncing off the 50 period at 12, and then just trending a little bit up. But if you look at the last few moves, last time it bounced off 12, it went to 16, higher low, and then 23 on a squeeze. This time it holds the 50 period, goes to 15, bounces again, and now it's trying to go to 14. Suffice to say, it's going more shallow. So this is a day trade trending up that I don't think is necessarily going to hold. And I promised, because someone tweeted at me, why do you never talk about Upstart when you mention Affirm? So I promised I would say something about Upstart today, at least be looking at it, because it's a little bit, if you look at the move that it made off its double bottom, a little bit stronger and holding a higher low. So last I checked, holding higher lows instead of the same low is a more bullish looking chart. So respect to Upstart, although it's down today. But it is holding a pretty solid higher low at 1750, so I'll give it that. That's a level to watch tomorrow. I'm on a firm, but I promised I would talk about Upstart as sort of a sympathy, not a sympathy play, but a similar looking play that looks a little bit stronger in the higher time frame and has a good level in here at 1750.
All right, Roblox looked a little bit better on another chart. Hold on a second. I was, yeah, okay, no, it's fine. It's just I zoomed out further here, and I thought we were back to days highs on Roblox, but we're not even really that close to it. So I'm not sure. I know I was talking about going green to red there and everything like that. No, it's not. It was just I wasn't zoomed in properly on it. But you could see you're just starting. You're well above. It needs to get back to 37 before we do anything, and that's sort of where we screwed that one up. It doesn't look like it wants to get back to 37. So I'm going to pass on Roblox for now. That wasn't a great call. I thought we were at a different level than we were. So it's a pass for me right now on Roblox. But there was another name that I was looking at, and now I'm kind of like, just gone from it. Yeah, go ahead.
While you're thinking about that,
I think what it was.
LUNR is halted to the downside. So this is one of those, we've sort of seen this story before. Like when you get these low floats, soak it up runners that just go insanely parabolic, this is how the story typically ends. This is actually beneath the breakout. Like this broke out yesterday at about 40 bucks, got to 135, put in a lower high, and has just been falling off a cliff. As a matter of fact, this is not the first halt to the downside. But wow, it wouldn't be free locates for us to short this. It's probably extremely expensive, maybe even prohibitively so for us, but that's crazy. This is the cautionary tale. Like it was, the one began with the OEC something.
OREO or something?
ORE. You guys will
Oreo?
I didn't trade that one that was going today. It was
I'll get it for you. OCEA.
OCEA, right? OCEA. So it was OCEA that made that crazy move and did all this. So here's the thing. Like you could see the same thing happen where you get a crazy move to the upside. It might even, whoops, I would have my lines drawn there. It might even gap up again tomorrow. Try to hold like 18 or 20 or something like that, and then if it fails it at the open, you could be back to like $3 or $4. That's what happened in LUNR. So when we say make sure you take profit out, we do mean that. Like it's just look how quickly that evaporated to the downside. Like you were long, great, hold it, yeah, you're having fun, but pay yourself out on the way up because if you missed this exit, all of a sudden you were giving back another 30 to 40%, and there was nothing you could do about it because it was a halt. And then you're just caught. You can't get out till it reopens. And it sucks to see, but that's why we sort of always talk about the idea on a parabolic mover that if you don't have it early, it's a little bit tricky to be jumping in here without an exit plan on the way up. If you're in the money here, you're still like 3x, even with it breaking down. So all good things do come to an end at some point, and what goes up must come down.
All right, just making sure I'm going to cancel that Roblox trade. But the name I was looking at, first of all, out there on Intel at 73. It failed a little bit there at 77, so we're out. We're very, very thankful to be able to make money on Intel today because we did have that 26 break and we were able to get out of that and sort of regroup it. But here, before we go on, CRM, I want to thank, I believe it was Mark Knight there in the chat, asked me for Salesforce. So here's CRM right now. I like it. Thanks for bringing this up. I like it a lot right now. We're going to go long on a 164 break right here. So this is the name I was looking for. It wasn't Roblox. It was CRM. So if you zoom back out here, obviously you had a big dip down here early. I don't know what that was all about as we were at 166 and a huge move down. But then look what we're back into right now. That's 164.14. I just think if we take 164, then we are going to get up here. And if the market continues to rally up 1%, I like this trade. So I like a 164 break. And if we're wrong, I think we just get back out on this next level. So that's 163.50. I like it. I think we have more than 50 cents of upside here. Like I said, I have no idea what this move was all about there. I mean, we had, because that's at 9:30. Oh, that's at 8. No, the market, wait a second. This is, yeah, so okay, that's fine. I was thinking like, was there a number? But the number was at 8:30 today. Wasn't there? Wasn't there?
It was a bunch of them.
Not GDP.
It was GDP.
It was GDP,
PPI,
yeah, okay.
and then there was an employment number.
Yeah, so this happened like at 9:24. CRM just started to slip down here. Maybe there was some news on something or whatever, but there's a move down, and then it just continued, man, and it got really exhausted down here at 161 and change. You can see the volume, not really that big down here, and even not that big on the way up. But I'm still liking a 164 break, and then, you know, if we fail, maybe we'll take something out at 17 or 15, which is the top there, but I want to give this back to 50s. So if we break back, there we go. I should be long right now. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there it is. So we got long 04s. That sucks. Or 02 half there. All right, so as it goes, we're going to wait to see what happens here. But 164, 17, or 20 could be our first area, but then we're into a new position right now. Thanks for bringing up Mark Knight. If I lose on it, I'm sending you the bill. But that's 163.50 is going to be our out right down into there. Let's go. Let's see if this one wants to work. Salesforce. It feels silly to take out such a little small piece. Well, let's take something out if it gets up to 25.
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you in the chat. Look, it's a good chatter that's going on for a lot of these symbols. Good look on Tesla. I was looking for VWAP for a pullback. It just got to 01s, bounced clean pretty much off 01, so a little bit too patient with that. Only because somebody asked me. So Luna reopened, and it opened flat. So it opened at basically like 24. I mean, it closed to 24.40. It looks like it opened like 20 cents higher maybe, and is already heading back into the downside. It looks like. So there's not much of a bid. There's no trade there for us because I'm not bottom picking this stock. Like, I think where you would bottom pick this, I'm not even sure. So, you know, you'd almost want like there to be like an up halt or something like that, and then just play the first up halt into out. But I'm not even looking for anything. If I short it, I can't. Or we can't unless you pay for it. And at 315 on a stock that's already down 70%, I don't think paying to go short the bottom makes a ton of sense, risk to reward. So no trade there. It is still falling for anyone that's still interested in that one. Play safe in that. What is booming to the upside? I just noticed that. Like, I'm sitting in the wrong one. And by the wrong one, I mean squeeze name or whatever you want to call it. Carvana just took out $10 and is now churning it's up 1%. But it's actually breaking back out to the upside. So that's a strong trend. Affirm's got a good trend. Carvana's got one. AMC seems to be pulling back off of it. It's holding 30 for now for me, but this is a much stronger name at this point. And CVNA, look at it wake up. This is a good area for the stock. Another higher, like it's trying to put in or hold this higher low. That's a big time level, 9 and 10. If it can't hold this, it's going to be under pressure. Why did I have, I know what happened. I have a morning stop on Lucid at 85. Remember 85?
Yep.
So all morning long, I'm like, why am I getting long in Lucid? Because when I had a small portion left here, you know what I don't want? Let me just get out of it flat first. I got in and out flat at Lucid 87. But on this move, I remember once I got out here, I still had a bit of a stop and it hung on to the last like 15% of my trade and then added to it here, but never got rid of the stop for the last 15%. So it was relatively small, but I always say if it gets to that price, you don't want it, you can always reassess. Like, I might actually like the short off 885 again, to be honest with you. So that's one reason to get out of the long. But if we get back beneath there, that was my level. So why don't I like 885 again?
That was the level that I was talking about, but I got out at 70 to avoid that.
Okay, but you know what? I'm talking to myself here because
I'll talk myself into that.
If it gets back beneath 85, I liked it before. That was the first level we liked short. I don't see why I don't like it. I do like Carvana, but it probably has to give me some kind of a dip buy the way I'm trying to dip buy on AMC. But I do like this. I'm actually going to go for this if it gets back beneath 885. That's kind of really fortuitous if this ends up working because I don't think I would have remembered this had I not left that stop in accidentally.
I thought you were already short. Oh, no, you got short and punched out. I got it.
No, I got long and punched out because my stop was still in to go long, and now I can't get the short because it's SSR. It's short sell restricted,
Wait a second.
so I just tried punching a couple times, and you can't get it because it's SSR. So that was me getting long, that was me getting out, and this is short sell restricted, so I need an uptick, and then I can get filled to the upside, and when you need an uptick, you can't get one.
No. I didn't realize we missed Carvana reporting tonight.
Come on, man.
I mean, I don't think we missed it. It's probably on the sheet.
That was on the sheet.
But we missed it on the sheet. Like, I missed it.
No, I missed it.
Visually.
I missed it
It's probably on there. But post-market here today. So, yeah, just watch out for Carvana. Notice one thing here. Short float. right there, 61%.
That's even better.
So, yep, that does make a lot of sense. Show to trade ideas for that. Well, that's not a scanner, but that information board. Okay, so unfortunately here on CRM, it's literally doing nothing, as my kids say, literally, Dad. So we'll wait for it. I'm going to average in. Obviously, I don't think we've got a bad price, but I'm going to try to get something around 70, sort of that dip spot right there. And then we're going to get out if it takes 50. We've talked about that. That looks pretty clear to me. I really like this trade. If this, I don't know if I like it because it's not moving, but as a setup here, this trade kind of fits the bill for me. Because I want to go long, because the market's up 1.7%, 1.07%, because the ES is also up 0.6%. Like if the market was the other way around, it's a no-brainer short, but it's not. So we've rallied all the way back up here, and let's just continue to go. I mean, there's nothing stopping this name. So I like this here for a long, and I want to average into it, and I'm scared of this trade. But back to that Lucid trade here. This is why we get out right there at 70. Now look at the fall down. We were talking about that 88, 85 area. It is a nice move down, but I would have got stopped out, and then I would have been peed off because I was like, we should have just got out at 70. And then instead we got out at 85. So we save ourselves a lot of money there by getting out early. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but I think it's okay right now. This move down in the NASDAQ's not going to be very nice, but again, as long as we stay above 12,200, which is the 50 period right here, we should be okay, but I just look how easy the market there it is here, the market just ticks down and CRM drops 20 pennies. So, I may have liked the trade initially, but now it's looking pretty spicy. We'll take one more fill down here at 70. It'll be for a little more shares than we currently have. So we should have a better average price, probably around 89, 90, something like that once we finally get filled. And then that'll feel a little bit better. But our out is still going to be 50. Hopefully we get some long on this dip down. If not, fine. But let's see how this is going. Oh, interesting thing here. How many times companies mentioned AI on their latest earnings call? Nvidia, 75 times leading the way. Google, 62 times, second place. Meta,
42.
33 times. Microsoft, 31 times. And Apple, 2 times?
They don't need to.
Thought Apple would have been able.
To.
No, they don't need to, but maybe they should. And then get that name going to the upside. Yeah.
I'm actually, the sci-fi book that I'm reading, it's called Snow Crash, and it is all about the metaverse. Like it's now I'm blanking on the bloody author. I read a lot of science fiction. I'm pissed off. It's called Snow Crash, but like the main character, whose name is Hero Protagonist.
Okay.
Which is I saw that. I'm reading this book for sure. But yeah, one of the cool things about
best
it
heroes.
is it's credited for being one of the predictors of them. There's a lot of books out there that kind of predict these things. William Gibson had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually really, really cool. And one of the things that I find interesting about most versions that I keep reading about in the future is they tend to have one particular AI that is the AI everybody has. So it's like every single wall is a smart surface, but they're all the same AI. It's like this is the one that won, and everybody's talking to the same AI when they do their search. And people are saying Neil Stephenson. That's another reason that I like the book, because it's Neil Stephenson, and he spells his name the same way that I do.
What's up, Jay Lee?
Which is cool because, I love my parents, but I don't even get mad when people spell my name wrong, because quite frankly, NEIL is more common. I only get upset when people see it in my name and then still respond with NEIL. That's a little bit weird, but Neil Stephenson, great book. If you're into sci-fi, it's really good. I just finished the three body problem, which was suggested by you guys, the viewers. So I read the entire trilogy, now moving on to this one. And when I finish this in a week or two, guys, let me know what I should read next. I'm literally running out of sci-fi novels that are classics that I have not read. I'm into Lucid, but I took too long to make this decision. So I got the fill up here, got out of it at 87. That was probably a good decision. If you don't want it, you don't have to hold on to it. So I got out of that long, realized it was in there that stopped because I liked that for a level to short, but because it's short sell restricted, I didn't get in until it was back down here. I got some 77s, I got some 78s. These should be fills between 80 and 85. but I was too quick to kind of think it out loud in my head or think it out loud to you guys. Now I'm going to try to see if I can get something back into that 860, because if it consolidated here, I think the pullback is probably going to 55 to 65, somewhere in that range. I'm trying to reload on a firm, but a firm doesn't want to give it to me. So 1350, I have 57 already. I was trying to get something better, and it just bounced at 57. So it might just be small dips and ride the trend on this name. That's the best we can get. And Hisham saying you like Planet of the Apes. It's a classic. It's a classic. Love Planet of the Apes as well, but kind of already know it very well. But just DM me, because I'm always looking for suggestions. Reading is life for me.
All right. Yeah. Let Neil know any of those books, man. But you probably read them all, like you said. But I'm sure there's a few other out there. Look, it's too bad we didn't get that CRM reload. I mean, then we would really be happy. We missed it by 5 cents. We're at 70. CRM went down to 75 or maybe even 74 right there on that dip. We didn't get it. Now it's right back to a flat trade for us. I'm not getting out of it, so it doesn't really matter what happens now. We already have our plan. It's down here to 50, although this is moving up. Now you're up to 65. I'm still going to use 50 as our out, but lines are starting to move here. That's what sucks, because we should have. Sometimes you don't. It doesn't. Look, if this wins, man, we'll take the cash if it's going to come into play, which would be fine. And we're at 25 right now, hoping for a move up. But the thing is, as we get closer into the close right now, Salesforce does become a little bit, antsy into the closing mock. We do know how violent this name can get for sure. Liquidity can dry up. If you're joining us for the first time here, thank you. But all of these ones are either 100 or sub 100 share lots. So, when this wants to go, if someone wants 5,000 shares of CRM, then you're going to be hitting this thing down probably 10 or 15 pennies just to get that fill. Now, there's always dark pool fills and things like that, but that can really move the market. So that's why I need this thing to start to go ASAP before the market gets a little change of heart. We did talk about it pulling back down to 12.2. That didn't happen yet, but we're still making new highs every single tick here. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I always say that, and I forget about the open. There's the open right here when the volume came in. So, yeah, we did bump up here a little bit. So, yeah, we're not making new highs, but we are still going upside. And, yeah, that's making me a little nervous here, because CRM, again, failing at that top. If I wasn't long, I could get out of it, but I still want to see what happens on this reload right here. So let's hold it, see if this market wants to rally. But, yeah, getting a little nervous about this position. We're $1.70. Nerves is not an issue here for Meta. This is $1.70 in the money. And look at it just continue to march past this 50 period. We talked about learning from each other. I know there's traders that have now put their 50 period on their 1 minute chart. So, hopefully that's something to look at. And I'm going to use it in this case. So, we came in, we tested it, we bounced. We came in again, we tested it and bounced and never broke it. That's at 172.90. So how about a 172.80 break and we'll get out. We're long at 171.30, so it is a nice trade for us. And, even if we have to get it out, we'll still make $1.30 on it. So let's put that as our out just in case Meta does a little move here. But I expect Meta to continue to climb. And then Google, yeah, it broke the 50 period and we got out. So I'd hate to have that happen to me again. But Google right now, nice move to the upside, but still red on the day. Uh-oh, Neil, CRM is finally in the money for me.
That's not an uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, we want to make money, but.
No, it's like, it's not
Come on,
uh-oh.
CRM.
That's a good thing.
Come on.
I want Nvidia to make a move. I think that would be interesting. But back at the high of the day on a firm, which is kind of frustrating because I couldn't get the dip. But watch out for CVNA. This is not significant size on the offer. 130,000 sitting there at 22s, and then you can see the difference in liquidity at those levels. So it's like a couple thou per level, and then you see that one guy sitting there. If anything, I almost want that to get it to push down into the 10, like the low 10s. Like not push literally, like it's forcing the stock down, but maybe scared enough that it pulls back. That's the best way to put it. And then that would be some interesting longs to be able to pick up. Then if that level breaks, you have the long going into it instead of it breaking. Because I don't like taking breaks of levels like that late in the session. I just find, especially when the volume is starting to taper off, I'd rather it dip and then rip where I can go long in front of a 10 support as opposed to just taking a level break because there happens to be a big size there. So I'm going to let him get filled, he or she. The order that's 130,000 or whatever it happens to be now, it's 12.5. I want it to get filled. If that ends up pushing it down, I'm going to go for the dip buy on any kind of a push off that order and then rinse and repeat back to the upside. I guess I got greedy with Lucid because like the second, it starts to work to the downside, it gets some bids in there, and then it promptly reverses off 870. I do still like this to that 885 level. I do have a 78 price. I should have a price in the 80s. If it gets up there, I'll go ahead and take that shot. Is BOBA going as well? I just saw someone say BOBA's going.
Tricked ya? No, I have no idea.
Not really. Okay, I mean, it's breaking 94, but it's not moving that much. I liked the notion of the BOBA off these longs earlier, but there was no acceleration when I had it. Even when it did make a move, it's just not going. These Chinese ADRs are tricky when the volume is so low. You really want them in the morning when they give you the trend, they give you the big moves. Very rarely do you see that follow through in the afternoon.
So CRM just went to 20 and turned around. I was at 25. So now we're going to go to 20 now and see if we can get, honestly, I just want to get a third out. Like, I don't want to try to set this world on fire or anything. Let's just try to get a piece out, and then if it wants to rip up into the close, then that's great. Let's just get a piece out so that if it does drop, we don't feel like we've missed an opportunity on this. If we can grab 20 cents, we'll do that. And just on a third. I just want to go a third out of this. I'm trying to scale and work on my scaling a little bit. If we had gotten a little bit more shares down here, well, if we had gotten our full piece, then we would be out probably half by now because we'd have a 50-cent winner, but that's not good enough. We're trying to take 50 cents worth of risk down here, so that's where I'm trying to get a little bit more. Come on, don't stop at 18. Hopefully you get a little bit more to the upside there on that play. Unlike Meta is now just continuing to push higher into the close, so that's going to be a good trade there. Let's go talk about Nvidia again. This has been disappointing in the afternoon. I mean, I would think so anyways.
I'd say so.
It's kind of just, it touched 238, which made sense for a short, but again, I'm not really brave enough. I am brave enough, but not to short this name maybe today. But the thing is, the short could have been there because you had this top. There it is. Okay, cancel. Okay, good. There it is. So we got that fill there on CRM at 19s. But okay, so I actually canceled a piece of it. We didn't get out of the full third. We only got out of 20%. Okay, so right there, 238 and change. You could have shorted that against 239 to try to make that dollar back, and it would have given you 2. So I kind of take that back. That was just a missed opportunity by me. I feel like I should have been there for that, and yeah, unfortunately, can't see it all. When you look back, you're like, oh man, should have had that one. But yeah, that would have been a good short there in Nvidia 238. So let's, we'll write that down. We'll keep it on our sticky note and think about that for tomorrow. A 238 short there in Nvidia.
Yeah, I like that level. I just wish it had gotten there again. That's so disappointing. Yeah. I'm going to put a trailing stop now. I just feel like a firm's gotten close enough without any acceleration on the re-entry there. We were able to re-enter at least one time. I did try to pick it up on that dip. I was probably way too conservative trying to get it in the low 50s there, and it dips to like 60. Same thing's happening on Tesla. But I want at least 1370. And if we get to the high of the day, great. And the high of the day, I am looking at the open top, not the pre-market at 14. Like I'm looking at 1385. Should always specify that. I prefer that as a significant price level than 14's a round number, so it matters. But there's no volume behind that. Like there was volume at the open rejecting 1385. That's why I want to sit in front of it. If we get another push up there, we'll get out of a firm, but I don't want to give it past that 70 on the way back in. Lucid's still not doing much. And Tesla, it is giving it, like it's just giving you the move. And when you get away from the notion of higher lows and start thinking about, well, it got VWAP before, let's get VWAP again. No, but a higher low indicates you got to go to the next level up, which is 01, and then it's doing the same thing at about 02s here. So on that theory, if it breaks 03, the next dip is probably to 02s, and I think it's going to break that double top at 03. Tesla's on one. However, just got it from Brendan here. The early look on the imbalances at the close is 658 million to sell. But that's meant what? Like diddly squat the last couple of days. So take that for what it's worth. I'm pretty sure the last 2 days we've had it either go all the way in the other direction or show up as nothing or start out as nothing and then end up as big. So I'm not really reading too much into that number right now.
I remember exactly what happened yesterday. It was 6 million to sell, and it turned out to be 1.6 billion to sell. So
dead right.
Yeah, well, the right way, but not even close. Like 6 million is like you can add up a couple shares of Apple to get 6 million. So okay, Here we go. So CRM's right back to 20. It's trying to go. I'm sorry I'm always on the same name here. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, we can look at it. What about Apple right there? I missed opportunity, talked about that. This is a name that I should have had and I don't. So not happy about it, but whatever. We'll move on. But that's 149. I actually have a bid right now, 149.11. That's right where this is. Never came back in, and Apple continues to climb. I like Apple tomorrow, especially if we start over 150. Look, tomorrow is not going to be a free fall Friday. Sorry to tell you that, Brad, wherever you are. I feel like, you know, this is a nice move here today. We're through some earnings, strong report from Nvidia. Unless something happens in tomorrow's reports, I don't think that we're in too much danger for this market slipping up too much, but hey, crazier things have happened on a Friday. And what I mean by free fall, it's just like we had the worst day of the year 2 days ago, and that was down 2.2% on the NASDAQ, right? So, you know, could we get another move down of 1%, 1.5%? Yeah, but then it's just kind of canceling out what we're doing right now. There's still 30 minutes into the close, so we've seen this get evaporated just as fast as it became a thing. So we'll wait to see if there is some repeat here in the NASDAQ, but I like it. Here holding up, and I mean, look at the trajectory all afternoon. I'm sorry, Dan, and everybody out there that is maybe, you know, more of a bear on these days, but there's still a lot of money to be made, and I'm never going to forget what Dan said last month. I said I had one of my best months in January and February. Well, right now we're almost done through February, you know, no jinx, but go majority in an up market, and Dan said he had one of his best months there going primarily short. So it's about picking the right names, trading the right stocks, and hitting the right opportunities at the right time. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I like the trajectory of this market, and I think there's a lot of names that have a lot of work to do. Google did a good job today of bouncing off of 90. So like if that holds down here, 90, then yeah, I do think we can get back to 96, 97 in a hurry, right? So let's wait to see if some of these levels can hold some of these bottoms. Then yeah, only upside, right? But yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh, and good point. I saw in the chat, 8:30 tomorrow, we do have PCE. So there is, I mean.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously today was maybe a little bit bigger on the lineup just because we had like 3 major economic numbers and we had a couple of Fed speakers going. So a bit busier, but tomorrow it's that, but it's also a Friday, which means options expiration. So I'm expecting volatility, given the way we always talk about the trajectory of the market. Sorry, I was just about to talk about Tesla, but then I wanted to talk about this. So we always talk about how bad it looks if the market closes on the low, and I'm not jinxing anything. If the market pulls back here, I'm just sort of pointing out, you went bottom to top here, and you can look at the NASDAQ or the ES, it really doesn't make a difference. You went bottom to top, and we have a decent chance of closing off the highs, which is the other side of that coin. It becomes incredibly bullish, and then what happens if we're able to break out in tomorrow's trade? I think that could be fantastic, especially given the fact that Nvidia was such a monster gapper and did not fill in the gap. Right, like it attempted to make the pullback and it did not do so. That's incredibly bullish. So someone, I think it was Phil McCracken, just said, why not scalp short Tesla at 203 instead of look for the dip buy? It's not a bad notion, but so I just put Lucid short on, which is also an EV name, short Lucid off of its morning high. That's kind of the same thing. I know I was double down on both of them at one point in the morning, but that's in the morning, you have so much room for the move to come in and for it to trend that to me, like shorting 2 or 3, if they're in the same sector, it's like, who cares if the setup is good? But at the close, in front of the imbalances, I tend to not overcomplicate things and overtrade. So I'm short one EV name off the top. That's Lucid. If Tesla goes downside, I would like to think that Lucid falls too. You never know. Lucid's also down 12%, but V-shaped recovery, that's the ugliest V ever, but maybe if I show a 15-minute chart, maybe this still, there you go. Always looks better when you zoom out. The V-shapes are a little bit better when you zoom out. Good, strong move back in for Lucid. This would not be crazy to look for some longs in Lucid tomorrow if the market breaks out the highs. I know we're focused on the short today because the earnings stunk, but sometimes you get that bottom, everybody sold off, and that's the worst you're going to see in the very short term. And as a day trader, you can look for a long the next day.
Okay, I just wanted to adjust my CRM take here. So I'm going to get out if it breaks through 163.80 because everything's changed. The game has changed a little bit, and I'll explain what my logic is here quickly. The most we ever got was 20 cents on this play. We got a fill there. We talked about it. Then it fell back down, right? So if if the most we're getting is 20 cents and there's only 20 minutes left and we have the imbalances still to come, then this is not worth me averaging in here just to get back to a level that hasn't meant anything in an hour. So I'm going to pull back a little bit now on my expectations here for Salesforce. Give you guys a winner. It's still here right now. You could get it out another piece right here, right now, literally again, if you wanted that. But for me, I still like this trade. I'm still going to hold it. I still have an offer much higher than this into the 30s. So if it can blast, it'll blast and we'll be there. But for right now, this is kind of what I'm doing, thinking that, hey, why take more than one-to-one risk when it sort of already showed its face? So when we first started this trade, we didn't have any idea of what the upside might look like. Now we do. So, you know, let's just try to respect any kind of a move here in Salesforce into the close. So we're going to watch out for, and now it's at 85. I mean, now I can realistically get away with it better than one-to-one, but I'm still going to give it down here to 80 and see if it takes it out. But once again, there is another failed break to the top. So I like CRM, but I don't like it that much. So we'll wait to see where we go now on that one. Meta's also pulling back. I know we have Happening Now coming up soon. That's just a joke.
I know,
small cap recap. But Meta's getting ready to break through 173. We're going to get into that if that does happen. So just as we go to small cap recap, we will watch out for a 173 break here on Sir Meta. Brendo.
All right, guys, about 20 minutes ago, let's recap some of the small caps that we're moving around tomorrow. Maybe add some to the list for tomorrow, what we're going to watch for tomorrow. If you remember, OCEA was up on this note this morning. Actually, a very positive, very exciting, to be honest, note here this morning on some data coming through on cancer cells, some antibodies that they found that actually kill specific cancer cells. So that was a reason, if you missed it, for this move in OCEA today. Gets all the way up to 27.5 and then comes all the way back down to $10. But regardless, we'll see what happens tomorrow with decent volume still for this OCEA. This JNCE was a nice fade all day long. There was a merger agreement that was announced this morning with this pharma, RedX Pharma. So JNCE making its way back to the downside. LLAP, a bit of a flyer so far today. Didn't really do much. Just kind of chopping around, but held gains after the gap to the upside. We saw this move in SOUN again today. Some of the AI names started to go early on, but just got absolutely crushed throughout the midday. Back to the downside, and this one, obviously, this daily chart is just amazing. Huge mover, obviously, yesterday. $40 up to 140, and then right back down today. So LUNR will be on a lot of people's radar once again tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, a lot of people asked about AMAM, and what a round trip this was. VWAP consolidation break to 740, to kind of right back down in, bouncing off 6 even. And now starting to go. So congratulations if you caught the dip on that. Just be careful chasing late day moves, man. Like the volume, it wasn't a huge volume spike on the way up, which can be a little bit of a tell sometimes. That's hard to see. That's better. So when you look at how it broke out, and I'm not even talking about compared to like 930 because it was big compared to 930, but when it was really going, like look at the volume compared to the move that was breaking out off that 6 level. So does it reverse all the way back? Look at all the selling. That's people been long. People were long this consolidation, the whole way, just waiting for it to go. It never breaks 550. So there's a bunch of longs between 550 and 6 that are waiting for it to make a bigger move. It makes a bigger move, and it just floats up, but they all got to cover. So there's way more volume on the way back to the downside, not much of a surprise. So you wait for it to get to the bottom. If you caught that bid, fantastic. Just always look out for volume to prevent yourself from chasing a halt up like that. More significant volume, and maybe it would have gone, right? Like this is actually not that. Like we talk about these charts for like these small cap runners, and it's like, oh man, that chart looks terrible, and this doesn't look like some of the other ones you look at. It's actually pretty bullish for several days here, and then breaking out today. So you can see why people like the long, especially off that 550 area, but no volume for that follow through. It was a bit of a tell. If I had seen that real time and had paid for locates, that's a short entry on the reopen of the halt when it reclaims the halt price. Like you'd see it go up, make the wick high, and then immediately fail. There's Carvana, finally. now it's like 3:43. Like, it's always the time of day.
Yeah,
it's
it's
already
getting late.
3:43. So that seller does eventually pull it back down to 10. Now, the reason I didn't want to compromise on price, because unlike AMC, where I was giving up like 15 pennies to dip by, I don't even want to give that much into Carvana. They do report tonight. It already made one move. I just want to see if it can hold this consolidation area and get back up to the top. It doesn't have to break the high for this to be solid, but it does have to move in the next 15 minutes. So there is always that side of the equation for us. Not much happening on Lucid, still flat. Affirm, I'm just going to have to trail that one out. Yeah, I said if it broke, I'm just going to get out of Affirm. I'll go to Affirm in a quick second, but I want to get my stop in here for Carvana. Don't want to give it too far past that $10 level.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the long than the
late.
short, I would think, into earnings on that play. So, yeah, good look on Carvana. Let's just wait to see where it goes, of course. You are going to get the imbalance locator coming out in 6 minutes, and then we'll update sort of where we're going on that. And what the balance locator is, of course, is the market on close orders, all sort of packaged in really nicely into one. And then, as Brendan just said, if you add up all the interest right now on close, it's 660 million. Thanks to Financial Juice for that. That's not a number that we stand by or anything, but we just give it to you because Financial Juice, a trusted source, and they give it to you for free. You can find them on Twitter. Brendan already shouted out Tony Knack earlier today. We'd be good to have those guys back on. I know they're busy. We'll see if we can get Tony back on. He likes to come on bigger days like Fed days. Fed. Something called Fed there. So yeah, I likes to come in on those days. So shout out to you, Tony Knack and Financial Juice. But here it is right here on the screen. This is what's going to light up at 350 with a bunch of different names. You can't, if I put this over now, you'll be able to see, these are all from the morning still, from 9:30. So you'll see these all sort of populate, and then we will just simply go from there. And that's how the trade works. As this populates, you'll see, first of all, we are now out of Meta. So whatever, man, I'm going to spin this regardless. Even though we don't have the very top, that was a great trade for me on Meta. CRM, we're going to be getting out of that very, very soon as the market's fallen down. So there it is, man. We don't have that very top, but we got a good fill. So that was a good one. Pretty happy with what we're doing right now on everything. So can't really complain. We'll finish today not at our highest spot of the day. We did take an L there on Lucid and what else? CRM, I guess, right now is going to be a potential L as that's starting to break lower as well. Look what it's breaking, the 50 period. This was a name that I don't feel bad about trading. You had a good point that resonated with me yesterday, and that is that if you're going to lose on an idea that you really liked, then it's fine to basically have it. This is not going to be my worst trade of the day, but that's fine for it to be. You want to put capital into ideas that you think are going to work, and we don't even have a full position in CRM. So there it goes, drops down, bye-bye CRM. So we will wind up losing about 20 pennies on that. But we did take 20 pennies on 20% and then lost the rest on 80. So it is a flush down the toilet there for CRM. But, we tried it. We're pretty happy with it. And, just too bad it didn't work out.
And if you like that piece of advice, which I love, by the way,
take this opportunity to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You won't be disappointed. There's lots of bangs. Nah, that's getting scrapped. That's not a good one. You guys let me know. Let me know in the chat.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. You know what? You guys tell us, because people didn't like mine either. And it's like, well, you know what? Let us know what we should do for those, because we'll shoot just about anything. We put a camera in.
Yeah, of course, everyone in the chat is loving it.
I thought it was good. What was so bad about it? I don't understand why.
I laugh at the end, like, what the hell is that? And then take this opportunity to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. They love it. You won't be disappointed. There's lots of bangs. See, it's like, what is that at the end there? Like, I feel like that was like...
You're damn right. Okay, so here's the thing. If you guys double the like count, then that has to play forever.
They're liking it. I'm going to give... Look, I can't be the self-proclaimed...
But what was wrong? There was nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm just saying, I'm the people's trader. I got to give them what they want. So there you go. You can have it. All right. I'll keep it. You guys... What? Oh, Woody Woodpecker. Yeah, maybe at the end there. That was a good one. I had Fahad in my ear there.
Woody
so,
Woodpecker?
No, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Hey, look, man. If you guys are enjoying the show and you like that, then let's keep it. Niels is good. Luca, Sharif's. Look, Sharif got to redo his because he didn't think he looked good.
I don't even have his buttons, by the way. I don't
even have my own button. I don't have any buttons.
I only have Luca and Sean. So
you don't even have a Neil button, Fahad. Hit the Neil one.
Even if I want, no, you don't have to do that. Hit the Sean button again.
Well, I think people take this opportunity to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You won't be disappointed. There's lots of bangs. Just say I? Yeah, it should say I at the end.
I told you I only have those two. I can't hit my own.
It should be I at the end.
I like
I. Like and subscribe today.
Oh, well, everyone's going to have hers as the favorite.
Well, that's not even fair. Like, it's okay. I like yours.
People just said every time they play it, they'll hit the like. So
yeah, so there you go.
We'll keep it.
It's all good, man.
CRM back to 164.
Saul Goodman.
Saul Goodman, man. I actually really like that. That didn't even come, to my mind there when I was watching it until he said that. In one of the episodes there. He's like, yeah, it's because I was watching, I think he was sitting on a bus stop or something. Yes. Yeah, and it came through. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. He's like, it's Saul Goodman. And it was like, so he's okay, that's what he's going with. Saul Goodman, so. All right.
Bob Odenkirk is maybe one of the most underrated, funny guys in TV history. It's like,
I think he has something new coming out too.
He's freaking hilarious, and Breaking Bad is legendary, but to do a spin-off of Breaking Bad and actually be really successful when clearly you have ridiculous shoes to be able to, or a talent to live up to, he crushed it, man. I love that show. That's a great one. We always talk about what we like, but I don't like Carvana's not bouncing here, but it's 349, and if it breaks 2 cents lower, I was probably going to stop out on the imbalances anyway, so I'm holding these into the imbalances, which are coming in about 20 seconds. So Sean has it up there, so we'll get those locked and loaded. But the last move might be back into VWAP on CVNA, but it'll be a relatively tight stop. And then Lucid decided to do absolutely nothing once I got into it. Like barcode central, man. I'm not even giving this to the high of the day. It's not worth it because it's not moving. So here come the imbalances.
All right, let's go. Right now, 350. Yeah, downside move right now. So it looks like there is a downside move right now. Good thing we got out. Shopify. No. I don't see Lucid on here. ATVI as a sell. Google as a sell. You'll probably see nice move to that. This is Goog, not Google. Actually, not doing anything. Visa. I mean, these are weak. Brendan's gonna 500. 500 to sell, says Brendan. So nothing on here. That's people trade Shopify. We talked about that short at 50. That would have been one for puts, man. That was a good one for that. I actually still own Shopify. I should have sold it, but I do remember talking about it. There's Oracle. What's happened to Oracle, man? We don't trade that anymore. Intel right there, not doing anything either. So yeah, I just saw not advanced micro devices, AMC Entertainment. Where is it? There it is right there. Sell for AMC. Did AMC get 650 today? I think it did, right? Yes, it did. It did. Very, very briefly, but it did get up to 660 today. Nice move for AMC, though. Wow, got excited early and then now fading out late.
Yeah, there's really nothing. The only reason I said did anything happen in Lucid is because right at 350, it did spike up and stop out there. So it did hit. I tightened the stop up by a couple cents. It really didn't do too much of anything, but there was no imbalance on it. So that kind of was nothing. Sometimes you actually see a very small imbalance, and then it's just enough to have it trigger. Literally nothing happened in Carvana, but this is worth at least looking at going into the close. Ended up coming out 500 to sell. So, you know what? It was a 600 sell. This ended up being kind of accurate. Not very big, but the market is pulling back in here. That's going to put CVNA under pressure, unfortunately. And then just going back over to a couple of strong names in Tesla. Tesla does run down. So Lucid doesn't go, Tesla does go. So I didn't want to take Tesla 03s because I was short in Lucid, and Tesla goes and Lucid doesn't. Tyler, PanW looking strong into the close, but no breakout. PanW is going to stay strong. Well, I shouldn't say that. PanW is probably going to stay strong. I never want to say for sure what it was going to happen overnight, but I'm actually glad that it didn't break out now, because you know what that means? That means the breakout's there for tomorrow. And quite frankly, the breakouts in stock like this are way better in the morning than they are in the afternoon, and it's not even close. You always want to get the morning break because there's more room for it to run. Every 10 times out of 10 as a day trader. So I'm happy that this never broke the high of the day. We're back for it tomorrow in PanW.
Happy, happy, joy, joy. Does anybody, where that's from? I don't know. I know. I know you know. And we're not, we're old, but I feel like people would know that.
Legendary.
Can't let my kids watch that cartoon. But happy, happy, joy, joy. You could be one, I could be the other right there.
That would be jokes.
That would be funny. That would be a good one there for sure. But yeah, my kid was actually asking me the other day about MTV. It came up somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was watching. So there's been a couple good shows there. And of course, Ren and Stimpy. So
yes.
Right there. Did they have oh no, that was Beavis and Butthead. I was going to say, wasn't there a movie like Beavis and Butthead Tour,
I didn't watch it.
Tour America or something like
There was,
that. I don't know.
they
there was
made a
something
movie. I never saw
So
it.
now I'm gonna have to probably find that and watch it. I'm such an idiot. Okay.
I would say if you're into that type of comedy.
Yeah. That was your.
And I've told you this. Rick and Morty.
I know.
Trust me when I tell you, Rick and Morty is better than like Ren and Stimpy was. It's better than Beavis and Butthead.
Pickle Rick.
If you want Pickle Rick, sometimes you got to get swifty with it.
Right, I heard that.
You got to get swifty in here. I can't say the rest of it because, quite frankly, this is. I think there's a few things.
Do America. That's what it was.
You'd get banned and we get demonetized if you say
For
too
what?
many things from Rick and Morty's not clean.
I know.
It's
I know.
a cartoon,
it's
but
clean,
the kids can't watch that one. Trust me, it is legit. Legit.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that show. Beavis and Butthead Do America. Okay, so now at least I can find it out. All right, let's just go quickly here as we continue to talk. Oh, everyone asking me why. This must just be, we have a legit coffee machine here, a Jura, and it's really great and it's fantastic. People saying this is just the way the coffee, it has like a little bit of a crema. No, it's just the coffee. It's because there's lights here that are shining on this. Then there's the yellow cup and everything. So yeah, people are like wondering like what exactly is this? It's just straight up coffee. Actually,
You know why it weirds me out?
it's actually gone.
Because every now and then
I didn't even finish it.
every now and then it tastes a little.
Oh yeah, no, I don't put my coffee cup under there until I see the goodness dripping down. I don't need to have that. It self cleans and it's like. Nasty. But anyways, great machine. Use it all the time, and we had that getting ready for the closing show, which is good. Look at this. No, it's not that bullet coffee. Ghee. It was ghee that you put into that, not the butter, I believe. So 173 right there. It was a good out, so we'll be like awesome for that out. And remember, like sometimes I'll say you look back and you say like, oh man, I can't believe I got out at that level, or why did I do that, or why did I do this, and so on and so forth. But there's the out at 173, and now it's at 172.20. So really happy with that execution. Sometimes you got to stick with your gut feel there, and there's Meta, good out for us. We took that $1.30, and we don't even wait for these imbalances. Very, very dangerous to wait for these things because you can see what it did to I don't think it did that to the market. The market was already sort of cruising, and then I jinxed it by saying, we're going to finish pretty high upside, but still up a nice 1%. You're just now testing 12,200 on the NASDAQ, and if you sort of go back to a little bit more of a bigger picture here, this is the NASDAQ 30-minute chart. You're still holding down here. We did hold. I was calling this 12,000. We got about 20 points away from that today. And I don't, now that we've sort of bottomed again right now, I'd like to see it test just to go back up, but I'm happy if we don't, and that was the end of the test. So let's see tomorrow if we can open up anywhere above this 12,250, which we're getting close to right now. We're only 50 points away. Then I think you can sort of retest somewhere up here again, but we got really close to 13,000 there, 12,250 on Fed. That was amazing, but then since then, this tends to happen, man. Fed speaks, they come out, and then it kind of trickles down. So we'll have to watch out for the NASDAQ now. But I think as long as we're above that 12,000, I think we're going to still try to pick some of these longs up, Google 90, Meta 170, so on and so forth. So let's see what happens tomorrow. I don't think we have an epic fall incoming. Maybe back to 12,000.
Epic, no. It feels like epic is a bit much.
We're up 1% today.
I know where I want relative strength. I know Pan W is strong. We'll respect that. And there was another. Did we do the earnings board?
Why don't we trade Pan W today?
We haven't. Do we have that?
We have a big earnings board, man. It's Carvana.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like Carvana.
It's all over the place. There was some of those Canadian banks. All right, you throw it up. All right. Square. So how did we miss Carvana? Let's find Carvana.
I still don't see. It's literally. Oh my.
It's literally right under where it says after the close.
Oh, come on.
Like, here's me saying, okay, I can find Block, but I don't know where Carvana is. I can find Warner Brothers.
How the hell did we miss that?
Yeah. And then you even talked about Beyond Meat earlier.
Yeah.
You know why? It's kind of a lame logo. Like, I never seen that logo before. We don't have Carvana here in Canada, so we don't have any commercials or anything like that.
It is a crappy logo.
Anyways, I think it's a pretty crappy logo. Just maybe.
You know
just
who has
like
a bad logo is Context Logic.
Or how about Mankind? Just says Mankind. I like Fubo TV. That should be a good one tomorrow. EOG Resources, if you're in the oil space, that's going to be a good name there.
If you don't like the video right now and subscribe to the channel, I might dunk on you.
That's aggressive, right?
I mean, if you have a 5-foot net, he might dunk on you. All right. Anyways, good job there.
Hurt himself.
Thanks to Fahad, man. Big support today from everybody.
Great show.
On our as a viewer and everything like that. That was is that one better than mine? I mean, I still think Fahad can do a better one than that too. I don't like the whole like that. Like I feel like it could be something else. I feel like we need to have him a highlight of him and Lucas.
No, just get an actual kid's rim, like one of the little kiddie ones, and dunk on. Like that's way funnier than that.
Of course, Fahad can't dunk. Like everyone's saying in there, like I don't think he can dunk. Yeah.
Obviously, he can't dunk. I mean, let's be real for a second. Fahad's a very good basketball player.
Everyone thinks we're throwing so much shade at Fahad, but we're just going back and forth with him. Oh man, this guy's too much.
You know how hard it is to dunk? Like, come on.
Well, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna be there, and we'll be watching Fahad dunk.
I think there might be people dunking. I just don't think
on Fahad. You mean?
From our squad. I'm not saying he'll get dunked on.
Oh, okay.
He's smart enough to not to get dunked on. Can I make a bull case for Wish in 1 minute with 1 minute to go? Wish has bounced off the 50 period like multiple times here. So if this isn't craptacular, this is not terrible for a setup. I'm actually hoping that there's something good to come of this one because kind of higher lows, holding out a little bit here. Why not? The run to $1 is always fun, and the resistance level is right at $1. This would be fun tomorrow if it makes a challenge at that level. The only way I would trade is bouncing off the 50 or at $1. I won't touch it anywhere inside the middle of that range, but at the periphery, why not? This could get interesting tomorrow. I don't mind trading penny stocks. That's where I started out a long time ago. With 25 seconds to go, not sure who's going to be on the bell here.
It's a blank bell.
But it should be Fahad because he was the man of the day. And thank you guys so much for the support. It's a fantastic charity, and there's still time to donate as we drop the countdown right about now-ish.
All right, with only 10 seconds to go, Rob is going to be on the bell, it looks like. Or maybe he is not. 3, 2, and 1. There he goes. He runs over. Thank you, Rob. I like that little globe there. That's pretty cool, that background there. Thanks, Rob, for doing that. And we are officially closed right now. After a good day, man. Couldn't be. Make sure I have no more script
Context
orders.
Logic to the moon.
It's all good. Yeah, we'll pay attention if any earnings come through in the next couple minutes. We'll monitor that. I think Square is pretty early on earnings, so we'll wait to see it. Sorry, Block, if Block comes out. But Brendan, let's review the day here before something comes out.
Yeah, quickly, guys, we did end the day in positive territory. Nice look really right across this entire board. 0.5% for the S&P. The Dow still holding on to 0.3. Remember, it was the Dow that was leading at 1 point. The Russell, nice look, 1, 2, and 3,000. 1%. It was all day, the big ones. 1% there, better part of it for the NASDAQ 100, winning the day, guys.
All right, so we've never done anything like that, but I don't know if you have it. My thing closed when I opened up the chat there, but
I got it.
Yeah, thanks for all the support. Neil just showing there over 11,000 there raised.
11,000 raised.
So that means a lot to us. Thanks to True Trading Group for topping it off as well. And we're going to be doing this until the 28th. So if you missed it today, come back tomorrow, support it. Fahad gets his hair cut live on the closing show tomorrow at 2:45. So yeah, it's been we've had a lot of fun, man. We did the chip challenge. Now we're doing this, and I think now the fact that charity seems to be something that resonates with especially our viewers and with us here. Maybe we can do some more charitable things as well in the future. So
got a laundry list of ones that I like, but I want to point one thing out because this is on the charity. You can still go tomorrow. So I'm expecting us to do just a week.
The 28th.
This is still on.
Yeah.
So we're still doing this, and I'm throwing this number out there. If we get to 20,000, they have a list of all of the different types of aid packages that they can send, and that would check every single box cumulatively if we get to 20,000, which I think would be pretty cool. That you'd hit supporting 100 families for medical care. You'd be able to support multiple families for food and shelter right across the board, which I think is fantastic. It's boots on the ground, as Fahad said. So let's get this job done. He's getting the job done tomorrow. Well, someone else is cutting his hair, but we'll get the job done by getting it to 20,000.
Yeah, I mean, we're all happy with the number that we have, but we know we can get a little bit more. So thank you so much to everybody today. Okay, let's go over there, Fahad. You have that camera. You want to give a big thumbs up over there? Fahad working without Pradley today. So there he is, Prad. I wonder if Prad has even shoveled his driveway yet. I'm going to. There it is.
Yeah, I'm sure he shoveled the driveway.
Sure he has. Brendan lives in a building, so you ain't got to worry about that. Did you? Oh, I didn't drive today. Did you drive today, Brendo? Or
I did, yeah. There was quite the snowbank at the end of our little street. But we also had a fire alarm at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning. So when I was coming out, there was fire trucks. It was a mess.
Well,
At least you're already awake, I guess.
hope it was just a
you,
false alarm.
It was.
Okay, good. So that's the most important thing. All right, tomorrow, guys. Well, now we know what time Brennan comes into work, so 6 a.m. Good luck tomorrow with that. I think the weather will be fine. The streets were really good today, man. My street was plowed. Even the sidewalks were plowed. It was amazing. But I got to go home now and shovel out the car, I think. So we're going to do that. But thank you for watching. Big day. Thank you again for all the support, man. Nothing's out yet. Square's up to 75, but it's not out. We're going to wait to see on earnings, but watch on Twitter. Maybe we'll post something. If not, catch our watch list tomorrow. We'll be back. It's Friday tomorrow, the end of the week. It should be a big day. Let's see if we get that free fall Friday. Hopefully we do. Hopefully we don't. Depends on your positioning. But no matter what, we're here tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you then.